Listen to me. I'm listening to me. I don't care what went wrong last week. I don't care what went wrong last week. I don't care. Because tomorrow is yours. You got 24 hours ahead of you that haven't been written yet. And the question is, what are you going to do with them? Are you going to let fear write your story? Or are you going to pick up that pen and own your future? Some of you keep replaying the pain of the past when the promise of tomorrow is sitting right in front of you. You say you want success. You say you want change. But do you believe that tomorrow can actually belong to you? You got to stop waiting for opportunity to knock. Build the door yourself. You got to stop praying for the storm to pass. Learn to dance in the rain. Because the truth is, the people who succeed don't have perfect days. They just refuse to waste another one. So I'm telling you, tomorrow is yours if you claim it. If you work for it, if you sacrifice for it. Don't just dream, discipline yourself. Don't just hope, hustle for it. Don't just plan. Push yourself every single day. You were born to lead, born to rise, born to shine. But tomorrow doesn't belong to the lazy, to the doubters, or to the ones who keep saying maybe next time. Tomorrow belongs to those who show up today. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Because that perfect time is not next week, not next year. It's now. Your tomorrow starts today. So when you wake up in the morning, don't just roll out of bed, rise with purpose. Speak to yourself. This is my day. This is my time. Tomorrow is mine. Because when your mindset shifts, your life shifts. When your hunger rises, your results rise. Tomorrow isn't a promise. It's a possibility. And the only question is, will you take it? Listen to me, because I want you to feel this deep in your spirit. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to do the work for you. Nobody is going to hand you your dream on a silver platter. The sooner you understand that truth, the sooner your life changes. The power of ownership is not about control. It's about accountability, about standing up and saying, this is my life. This is my responsibility. This is my tomorrow. And I'm not waiting for permission to live it. Well, too many people are waiting for the right time, waiting for someone to recognize their talent, waiting for someone to open a door. But what if that door was never meant to be opened by someone else? What if it's your job to build the door yourself, to take the hammer, the nails, the wood of your effort, and construct your own path to success? That's ownership. When you own your life, you stop blaming others for where you are. You stop saying, if only I had more support, or if only life had been fair. Let me tell you something. Life isn't fair. But fairness was never the promise. Opportunity was. And opportunity doesn't wait for the one who complains. It waits for the one who acts. There are people out there right now who have less talent, less education, less experience, but they're outworking you. They're owning their 24 hours. They're not giving excuses. They're giving effort. They're not pointing finger. They're picking up responsibility. Ownership means waking up every morning and asking yourself, what can I do today to move closer to my dream? It means taking control of your habits, your discipline, your mindset. You can't talk about owning your tomorrow when you keep renting your time to distractions today. You can't expect to see change when you keep giving your energy to the things that drain you. You've got to decide that your dream is not negotiable. You've got to decide that your purpose matters more than your comfort. Because ownership is not about feeling good. It's about doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. There's power in saying, it's on me. That's not a phrase of pressure. That's a phrase of power. Because when it's on you, that means you're in control. You're no longer at the mercy of circumstance. You're no longer a victim of life. You're a creator of it. You don't wait for luck. You create opportunity through your consistency, your grind, your relentless pursuit of better. You can't own your future if you keep renting your excuses. Some people spend years blaming others for their situation. Their parents, their boss, their environment. And in that time, they lose the very thing they were supposed to build. You don't get to control every event that happens to you, but you do get to control your response. You get to choose your attitude. You get to choose your actions. And those choices every single day create the foundation of your tomorrow. When you take ownership, you stop saying, oh, they did this to me, and start saying, I allowed that. You start examining where your decisions took you. You start asking, what can I learn from this? Instead of, why did this happen to me? And that's when growth begins. Because ownership doesn't protect you, it protects your progress. The person who takes ownership doesn't waste time defending mistakes. They fix them, learn from them, and move forward stronger. You have to understand that the world doesn't owe you anything. Nobody owes you success. Nobody owes you recognition. The only thing you owe yourself is effort. The only thing you owe your dream is consistency. The only thing you owe your future is ownership. The greatest shift in your life will come when you stop waiting for opportunities and start creating them. You gotta start treating your life like a business. When something goes wrong, analyze it. When something goes right, repeat it. You are the CEO of your destiny, the architect of your purpose. And if the building of your dream keeps falling apart, stop blaming the materials. Fix the blueprint. Check your habits, your circle, your mindset. If something in your life isn't working, it's your job to correct it. That's ownership. Most people don't fail because they don't have talent. They fail because they refuse to take ownership of their time. They keep saying tomorrow, I'll start, but tomorrow never comes for the uncommitted. You have to be willing to say, I'm done procrastinating. I'm done waiting for motivation. I'm done depending on others to push me. Because the truth is, the people who win in life are not always the smartest or the most gifted. They're the ones who take full ownership of every moment. When you take ownership, you start living with intention. You stop drifting. You stop wasting days doing meaningless things. Every decision becomes strategic. Every step has a purpose. You start realizing that the small choices, what time you wake up, what you eat, how you spend your evenings, they all add up to the bigger picture. Success doesn't come from one big event. It comes from thousands of small decisions made with ownership. There's power in saying, I can fix it. There's power in saying I can improve. There's power in saying it's my fault, but it won't happen again. Those words separate the winners from the quitters. Because when you own your mistakes, they lose power over you. When you take accountability, you gain control. You stop being a slave to circumstance and become a master of adaptation. That's where growth lives. Not in perfection, but in ownership. You've got to stop outsourcing your happiness. Stop depending on people to validate you. Stop waiting for applause before you start performing. The moment you take ownership of your happiness, you become unstoppable. You start realizing that joy is not found in the approval of others, but in the satisfaction of knowing you gave your best, even when no one was watching. Ownership is freedom. It's not a burden, it's liberation. Because when you own your actions, your energy, and your emotions, you take back control from everything that used to control you. The opinions of others, the mistakes of your past, the fears of your future, they no longer dictate your direction. You become grounded, focused, intentional. You start walking in purpose, not panic. Every successful person you admire, every entrepreneur, every athlete, every leader, they all share one trait. They own their life. They take full responsibility for their results. If they fail, they don't blame the weather, the team, or the economy. They look inward. They analyze. They adapt. They grow. And that's why they rise. Because ownership produces evolution. When you truly own your life, excuses die. You stop saying I can and start saying how can I, and start saying I'll have time and start saying I'll make time. Then start saying I'll make time. You stop saying I wish I could and start saying I will. That shift in language changes everything. Because your words are not just communication, they're creation. What you speak, you start to believe. What you believe, you start to do. What you do consistently, you become. And I want you to understand something. Ownership is not a one-time decision. It's a daily discipline. It's waking up every morning and choosing accountability again and again. It's deciding to push through when you're tired, to stay focused when distractions call your name, to keep moving forward even when results are slow. Ownership is not glamorous. It's gritty. It's not loud. It's consistent. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Some people will never reach their potential because they keep giving their power away. They give it to fear, to doubt, to laziness, to excuses. But you've got to take it back. Take back your time. Take back your confidence. Take back your dreams. Because your future deserves more than your hesitation. It deserves your action. It deserves your effort. It deserves your ownership. Think about this. Every great success story begins with someone who said, enough is enough. I'm taking control of my life. They didn't have all the answers. They didn't have the perfect plan, but they had ownership. They made mistakes, fell down, failed, but they got back up every single time because they knew one thing. It's on me. The power of ownership is understanding that you are the author of your own story. You can't change the chapters that are already written, but you can decide how the next one unfolds. You can choose to rise, to rewrite your ending, to build something extraordinary out of your struggle. Every setback is a setup if you own it. Every failure is a lesson if you claim it. Every pain is purpose if you embrace it. So don't run from responsibility, run toward it. Don't hide from the truth. Face it. Because ownership isn't about blame. It's about empowerment. It's saying, yes, I made mistakes, but I'm not standing there. I'm better than my past. I'm greater than my excuses. I'm stronger than my fears. You got to decide today that no matter what happens, you'll take ownership of your response. If life knocks you down, you'll own the comeback. If things fall apart, you'll own the rebuild. If people doubt you, you'll own your belief. You'll stop living reactive and start living proactive. You'll stop being a passenger and start driving your life. Tomorrow doesn't belong to the ones who wait. It belongs to the ones who own. The ones who take action when others talk. The ones who keep grinding when others quit. Grinding when others quit. The ones who understand that success is renting and rent is due every day. And the currency you pay it with is ownership, consistent, daily, unapologetic ownership. So I'm telling you, stop waiting, stop wishing, stop hoping someone will come and fix your life. Take the wheel, drive your dream, command your destiny. Because when you take ownership, everything changes. You stop seeing obstacles as endings and start seeing them as opportunities. You stop asking a why me and start declaring a try me. You stop surviving and start thriving. Tomorrow is not promised, but it's possible. And it's only possible for those who take full responsibility today. So rise up. Own your choices, own your mistakes, own your future. Because the moment you say it's on me is the moment life says, then it's yours. Yesterday is over. It's gone, it's done. You can't fix it, you can't rewrite it, and you can't relive it. But you can learn from it, you can grow from it. And most importantly, you can let it go. Too many people are stuck replaying their past like it's a movie they can't stop watching. They keep reliving the moments that broke them, the mistakes that haunt them, the failures that embarrass them. But here's the truth. The past is over and the future is open. Every time you look back too long, you rob yourself of what's waiting ahead. You can't drive forward while staring in the rearview mirror. Eventually you'll crash. And that's what happens to people who can't let go of their past. They keep colliding with their future. You have to make a decision right now that you will no longer be a prisoner. The past has no power unless you keep feeding it. You can't heal by revisiting the pain over and over again. Healing starts when you accept that what's done is done, and you begin focusing on what's next. The best way to honor your past is to outgrow it. Some people keep asking, why did this happen to me? Instead of asking, what did this teach me? That shift changes everything. The past wasn't meant to define you. It was meant to refine you. Every single person has a story filled with moments they wish they could erase. The missed chances, the heartbreaks, the failures, the betrayals. But those moments aren't just scars. They're signatures of strength. They show that you've lived, that you fought, that you survived. Stop being ashamed of your past. The things you went through didn't come to destroy you. They came to prepare you. You can't step into the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the old one. You can't see the sunrise if you keep staring at the darkness. The future is wide open, but you've got to be bold enough to walk into it. You've got to stop letting yesterday's pain steal tomorrow's potential. Every time you say, I wish things were different, you're anchoring yourself to what you can't change. It's time to start saying, I'm grateful for what it taught me. You got to take the lessons, not the limitations. Take the growth, not the grief. Take the wisdom, not the wounds. The past will visit you sometimes. That's natural. Memories will surface, regrets will whisper, and pain might knock on your heart again. But you have to learn to say, I see you, but I'm not staying with you, because growth requires distance from what hurt you. You can't rebuild your life on the same foundation that broke it. You have to clear the debris, lay down something stronger, and start again. That's what the future is for. New beginnings, second chances, redemption stories. Some of you are waiting for the perfect moment to move on. You're saying once I feel ready, I'll start over. But listen, you'll never feel fully ready. You just have to start anyway. You can't wait for the storm to stop. You have to move through it. That's how you discover your strength. You find out who you are not when life is easy, but when it's breaking you apart and you still decide to move forward. The future is open, but it's not automatic. It doesn't just happen. You have to claim it. You have to decide that you deserve better, that you will do better, that you are better than what you've been through. You have to look at your pain and say, you served your purpose. Now I'm moving on. Because every season of your life is temporary. Every heartbreak, every loss, every failure, they were all chapters, not the whole book. If you keep holding on to your past, you can't receive what's coming next. Imagine trying to grab something new while your hands are still full of what's old. You've got to release what you've been holding on. Let go of the guilt, the anger, the disappointment. You can't control what people did to you, but you can control what you do next. You can decide that their actions won't dictate your attitude. You can decide that their rejection won't define your worth. You can decide that your past won't hold you hostage any longer. Some people live in their pain because it's familiar. They've worn their past like a badge for so long that they don't know who they are without it. But you are not your pain. You are not your mistakes. You are not your worst moment. You are the lesson you learned, the courage you found, the wisdom you gained. Stop identifying with the hurt and start identifying with the healer in you. Because the future doesn't belong to the wounded. It belongs to the healed. You've got to wake up every morning with a new mindset. You got to tell yourself, I can't change yesterday, but I can change today. Every sunrise is a fresh start, a chance to do something different, to build something new. The future is open for those who dare to see it that way. Some people treat every day like a repeat of the past. They drag yesterday's failures into today's opportunity. But the moment you treat today as a blank page, that's when your story starts changing. The past has a voice, but it doesn't have authority. It can remind you, but it can't rule you. Unless you let it, you can choose which voice you listen to. The one that says you failed, or the one that says you learn. The one that says you're broken, or the one that says you're broken. The one that says it's over, or the one that says it's just beginning. Which one you feed determines which one grows. Think about a seed. When it's buried in the dirt, it looks dead. It looks finished. But in reality, that darkness is where transformation happens. Your past was that dirt. It covered you, pressed you, maybe even broke you. But it was never meant to bury you. It was meant to plant you. And now your future is calling you to grow. Don't stay underground because of fear. Push through, rise up, break the surface. Because what's ahead of you is brighter than what's behind you. You might not have had control over what happened in your past, but you have complete control over how you respond to it now. You can choose forgiveness over bitterness, growth over regret, hope over fear. Every choice you make is a seed planting your future. So ask yourself, what kind of tomorrow are you building? One that's rooted in resentment or one that's grounded in renewal? The truth is, the past doesn't define your destiny. Your decisions do. You can be the first in your family to break a cycle. You can be the one who turns pain into purpose. You can be the one who refuses to be a product of circumstance and instead becomes a creator of change. The past is only a reference point, not a residence. You glance at it to remember, but you live in the present to move forward. Every time you say, I'm not that person anymore, you reclaim your power. Every time you make a better choice, you rewrite your story. Every time you move forward, you build distance between who you were you're becoming. You are a work in progress, not a prisoner of the prisoner of the prisoner, the past. You are evolving. That's what life is. Constant renewal. Don't let regret become your identity. Everyone has regrets. But regret can either be a weight or a teacher. It can either hold you down or lift you up. The difference lies in perspective. You can look at your past and say, I failed. Or you can look at it and say, I found out what doesn't work. You can say, I lost everything. Or I learned what truly matters. You can say, I was broken. Or A was built. The story changes when the mindset changes. Sometimes we hold on to the past because we think it gives us security. But the truth is, holding on keeps us stuck. The pain becomes a comfort zone. It's familiar, predictable, and that's dangerous. Growth only happens when you're willing to step into the unknown. The open future is scary because it's undefined, but it's also full of possibility. That's where faith comes in. Faith is believing a future you can't yet see. It's trusting that the same strength that got you through the past will carry you into something greater. You owe it to yourself to see what's possible beyond the pain. You owe it to yourself to see who you can become when you stop letting your past speak louder than your potential. You owe it to yourself to move on. Don't waste your energy trying to change what's unchangeable. Redirect that energy into building what's possible. One day, you'll look back and realize that the things you thought were breaking you were actually shaping you. You'll see that every no led you to a better. Yes, every loss clears space for something greater. Every ending made room for a new beginning. That's the power of letting go. It frees your hands to receive what's next. Stop revisiting old pain like it's your responsibility to carry it. It's not. Your only responsibility now is to grow beyond it. Your only job is to make peace with the past so you can move freely into the future. Don't just survive what happened. Transform because of it. Take your scars and turn them into symbols of survival. Take your heartbreak and use it to build empathy. Take your mistakes and use them to create mastery. The past is over. The future is open. Every breath you take is proof that life is giving you another chance. Don't waste it. Use it. Step into it with courage, with faith, with hunger. You've got so much more to live for, so much more to build, so much more to become. The story isn't over, just beginning. The pen is in your hand now, and the page ahead is blank, waiting for you to write something beautiful. Preparation creates tomorrow. Every dream, every goal, every victory starts not with luck, not with talent, but with preparation. The people you see standing on stages, winning championships, building empires, they didn't just wake up one day and find success waiting at their doorstep. They prepared for it. They sacrificed for it. They built it brick by brick while nobody was watching. Success is not something you stumble upon. It's something you prepare yourself to meet. You can't expect to have a powerful tomorrow if you waste today. The future doesn't belong to the wishful. It belongs to the prepared. Most people want the reward, but they don't want the routine. They want the dream, but they don't want the discipline. They talk about wanting success, but when it's time to put in the work, they disappear. You have to understand that preparation is not glamorous. It's lonely, it's repetitive, it's demanding. It's the hours you spend practicing when nobody is clapping. It's the early mornings when everyone else is sleeping. It's the late nights when you're exhausted but still pushing. It's doing the same thing over and over again until excellence becomes second nature. Preparation is proof of belief. If you truly believe that your tomorrow will be great, you'll start preparing for it today. If you believe that your goals are possible, your actions will show it. People who prepare don't just hope, they expect. They expect results because they know they've done the work. Preparation builds confidence. When you're prepared, you walk differently, you speak differently, you move differently. You don't fear opportunity. You're ready for it. You don't shrink from challenges. You rise to meet them because you've trained for this moment. You can't fake preparation. You can fake confidence. You can fake enthusiasm, but you can't fake the grind. Preparation shows up when pressure arrives. When life tests you, your preparation answer. That's why you can't skip the process. Everyone wants the spotlight, but the spotlight only reveals what you've done in the dark. If you haven't been working behind the scenes, the moment the light hits, your flaws will show. Preparation is what protects you when your big moment comes. Think about an athlete. The game isn't won on the field. It's won in the gym, in practice, in conditioning, in the hours nobody sees. When the world cheers the victory, they're celebrating the preparation. You can't control the competition. You can't control the weather, but you can always control your readiness. You can always control your effort, your focus, your consistency. That's the difference between those who win and those who wish. Preparation is more than action, it's mindset. You prepare your mind before you prepare your hands. You prepare your attitude before you prepare your skills. Because if your mind isn't ready, your body won't follow. You have to start seeing preparation not as punishment, but as privilege. Every time you prepare, you're saying, I believe in my future enough to invest in it. You're planting seeds today for the harvest you'll reap tomorrow. And the harvest doesn't come to those who plant occasionally. It comes to those who plant consistently. The reason most people never reach their goals is because they treat preparation like an option instead of an obligation. They only get serious when opportunity shows up. But by then, it's too late. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your level of preparation. The future rewards the discipline, not the distracted. It's what you do in private that determines what you'll experience in public. Every repetition, every small improvement, every moment of focus is shaping your tomorrow. When you prepare daily, you develop habits that make success inevitable. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. You can't cross that bridge without structure. You can't say you want a better tomorrow if your today is filled with excuses. Excuses kill preparation. Excuses sound good, but they don't build anything. They give you comfort in the moment, but cost you progress in the long run. If you keep saying, I'll start tomorrow, you're lying to your future. You're robbing yourself of momentum. Preparation doesn't mean waiting until you're ready. It means getting ready while you wait. Some people think preparation is passive, that it means sitting around hoping something good happens. But true preparation is active. It's sharpening your skills, building your knowledge, strengthening your spirit. It's making sure that when the door opens, you're ready to walk through it. Because opportunity doesn't wait for the unprepared. It doesn't knock twice. When it comes fast. And only those who've been getting ready recognize it. You can't pray for a blessing and not prepare to handle it. You can't ask for more if you can't manage what you already have. The universe, God, life, whatever you believe in, doesn't reward wishers. It rewards worker. Preparation is how you prove you're serious. It's how you say, I'm ready for more. When you prepare, you align your actions with your ambition. You stop just talking about success and start building it. There will be days when preparation feels pointless. Days when you see no results, when progress seems invisible. But those are the days that matter most. That's when your discipline is tested. That's when your faith grows. Because preparation is not just about external progress. It's about internal strength. It's teaching your mind to stay focused when the reward isn't visible yet. It's building resilience, patience, and consistency, the real tools for lasting success. The truth is, your future self is depending on your present discipline. What you do today determines what you'll live tomorrow. If you slack now, your future will suffer later. But if you prepare now, your future will prosper. Every choice adds up. Every decision compounds. Every small act of preparation is a brick in the foundation of your destiny. Stop underestimating small steps. The little things you do every day, reading that extra page, practicing that skill, saving that money, waking up early, they all accumulate into something massive over time. Preparation separates the dreamers from the doers. Dreamers wait for perfect conditions. Doers create them. Dreamers talk about what they'll do one day. Doers start today. Dreamers rely on motivation. Doers rely on structure. You can't live your life based on moods. You have to live based on mission. Motivation fades, but preparation sustains. Motivation is emotional. Preparation is foundational. The people who win aren't the ones who always feel like it. They're the ones who do it anyway. Preparation also means being adaptable. Sometimes your plan will fail. Sometimes the path will change. But if you prepare mentally and emotionally, you can pivot. You can adjust without breaking. You can recover without losing momentum. Preparation gives you flexibility. It gives you the strength to handle surprises. Life will throw curveballs, but the prepared mind is never shaken. It's sharpened. Don't just prepare for success. Prepare for struggle. Prepare for rejection. Prepare for setbacks. Because they will come. And if you're ready for them, they won't destroy you. They'll develop you. Preparation isn't just about achieving goals. It's about surviving storms. It's about being strong enough to keep moving when everything around you is trying to stop you. When you prepare for difficulty, difficulty becomes your teacher, not your enemy. Every great comeback was born from preparation during quiet seasons. When the world counted you out, your preparation kept you in the game. When others gave up, your consistency kept you standing. Preparation gives you staying power. It's the difference between those who start strong and those who finish strong. Anyone can begin with enthusiasm. Only the prepared can endure until the end. You have to be willing to prepare even when nobody recognizes it. Stop craving applause for unfinished work. Let your preparation be private and your success be public. The world doesn't need to see your grind. They'll see your results. You don't need to prove to anyone that you're working. The outcome will speak louder than your words. Preparation is personal. It's between you and your purpose. Understand that preparation is a form of respect. Respect for your dream, for your craft, for your future self. When you prepare, you're saying, I value my destiny too much to show up unready. Every champion prepares like it's their last chance. Every leader prepares like people are depending on them. Because they are. When you take your preparation seriously, you raise your standards. And when your standards rise, your results follow. Don't be afraid of slow progress. Preparation takes time. Growth takes time. Maturity takes time. The reason most people fail is because they want microwave success. Quick, easy, effortless. But greatness is slow cooked. It's built through repetition, consistency, and patience. The process is what makes you valuable. The time it takes is what gives your success meaning. When you prepare properly, you appreciate the victory more because you know what it costs. So start preparing now, not next week, not next month, not when conditions are perfect. Right now, use what you have where you are. Train more, learn more, plan smarter, act bolder. Every bit of preparation compounds into a future you'll be proud of. And when that opportunity arrives, when the door opens, when the chance finally comes, you won't need to get ready because you'll already be ready. Preparation creates tomorrow. It's the invisible work that builds visible results. It's the bridge between dreams and reality. You can't walk into your destiny unprepared. So prepare like it's already yours. Study like it's already yours. Practice like it's already yours. Wake up every day with a mindset that says, my future deserves my best today. Because one day the moment will come. The call, the chance, the opportunity. And when it does, all that preparation will meet purpose. And in that moment, you'll realize that the hours you spent grinding, the sacrifices you made, the focus you kept, they weren't wasted. They were building you tomorrow. Faith over fear is not just a phrase. It's a mindset that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. When you choose faith, you choose to believe in something bigger than your current situation, something stronger than your limitations, and something deeper than your doubts. Every dream, every vision, every goal you've ever had will always require one thing before it becomes reality: belief. And belief is tested the most when fear starts whispering in your ear, telling you that you can't, that you're not ready, that it's too late. But let me tell you something. The people who win in life aren't the ones who never felt fear. They're the ones who learned how to move through it. Faith is that inner fire that tells you to take the leap even when you can't see the landing. It's the voice that says, keep going, when logic says, give up. Faith is what allows you to take that first step when the staircase is invisible. And when you walk by faith, not by sight, you begin to unlock the kind of power that can change your entire life. You start realizing that your situation does not define your destination. You start understanding that your current pain is not your permanent position. Fear tries to freeze you, but faith frees you. But faith frees you every time you let fear make the decision. You're letting your future die before it's even born. You're allowing something invisible and temporary to control something powerful and eternal inside of you. You see, fear lives in the mind, but faith lives in the heart. And the heart will always push you forward, even when your mind is screaming to stay safe. The truth is, safety has never built a legacy. Comfort has never changed the world. Every person who has ever achieved something remarkable, they had to stare fear in the face and say, you will not control me today. Think about it. Fear told Edison he was failing after 10,000 tries, but faith told him he was learning. Fear told Oprah she wasn't good enough for television, but faith told her she had a purpose to speak to millions. Fear told Michael Jordan he wasn't talented enough when he got cut from his high school team, but faith told him to get back in the gym. Faith doesn't ignore fear. It just refuses to bow to it. Because faith understands that fear may visit, but it doesn't get to stay. The world we live in loves to amplify fear. Every day you're surrounded by negativity, by people telling you why you can't, why it's too risky, why you should wait. But faith doesn't wait for the perfect condition. Faith says, if I've got a seed, I'll plant it even in the storm. Because faith knows that it's not the environment that determines growth. It's the decision to plant and water it every single day. The problem is, too many of us wait for proof before we believe. But real faith is believing before you see it, trusting before you touch it, and moving before you know how it'll all turn out. Fear will always disguise itself as logic. It will tell you to be realistic. It'll whisper that maybe your dream is too big, that maybe you're asking for too much. But faith doesn't care about unrealistic. Faith knows that mountains move when you keep climbing. Faith knows that doors open when you keep knocking. Faith knows that even if the world says a no, God can still say yes. When fear says, what if you fail? Faith says, what if you fly? Faith over fear means choosing to believe that what's meant for you will never miss you. It means trusting that even when the path is dark, there's a light guiding you. It means knowing that every setback, every rejection, every delay is actually redirecting you towards something better. Fear sees the obstacle, faith sees the opportunity. Fear says impossible. Faith says I'm possible. You gotta feed your faith more than your fears, because whatever you feed grows. If you keep feeding fear by doubting yourself, by surrounding yourself with negative voices, by replaying your failures. But if you feed your faith through gratitude, through prayer, through positive action, through discipline, that faith will rise and silence the noise of fear. Every morning you have a choice. Are you going to let fear paralyze you, or will you let faith prepare you? Faith is not blind. Faith sees further. It doesn't ignore reality. It just believes in a greater reality beyond what's visible. When you walk by faith, you start noticing that everything you've been through had a reason. The heartbreak, the delay, the struggle, all of it was preparing you for something bigger. Fear would have kept you from those lessons. Fear would have told you to quit before the blessing came. But faith keeps you moving even through the fire. Because faith knows that fire doesn't destroy gold, it refines it. I'm telling you, the moment you decide to trust your process, to believe in your ability, to have faith in your purpose, that's when life starts aligning with your vision. Because the universe doesn't respond to fear, it responds to belief. You can't attract success while constantly doubting yourself. You can't step into your destiny while clinging to your doubts. You've got to release the fear that tells you it's not possible. Because as long as you believe it isn't, it won't be. Faith is the foundation of every great achievement. Without it, you'll crumble the moment the storm comes. But with it, you can stand tall through anything. Faith doesn't mean you won't feel fear. It means you won't surrender to it. It means you'll still take the shot, still make the move, still show up when no one's clapping. Because faith is action, not just belief. It's putting one foot in front of the other, even when you don't know where the path leads. There will be moments when fear gets loud, when everything feels uncertain, when you start questioning if you got what it takes. That's when you dig deeper. That's when you remind yourself of everything you've already overcome. You didn't come this far to stop now. Every mountain you've climbed, every battle you won, that wasn't luck, that was faith in motion. And if it carried you this far, it will carry you further. Faith turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It gives you courage when logic says quit. It gives you energy when exhaustion hits. It gives you hope when everything looks hopeless. Fear will drain you. Faith will drive you. That's why you must protect it at all costs. Don't let fear sit in the driver's seat of your life, because fear will take you to regret, while faith will take you to results. Think about the times fear held you back, the chances you didn't take, the opportunities you let slip, the relationships you didn't start, the words you didn't speak. Every single one of those moments was a moment fear won, and you lost a piece of your potential. But it's not too late. It's the beauty of faith is that it's never too late to start believing again. You can take back control right now. You can say, from this day forward, I choose faith over fear. And once you do, something incredible happens. The world starts to open up in ways you never imagined. You begin to see possibility in places you used to see pain. You start attracting people, opportunities, and energy that match your new level of belief. Because when your vibration is faith, your frequency is victory. Fear operates in scarcity. Faith operates in abundance, and abundance always flows to those who are ready to receive it. Every dream, every breakthrough, every miracle starts with one person who believed when everyone else doubted. That could be you. That should be you. The question is, are you ready to walk by faith? Are you ready to stop letting fear decide your destiny? Are you ready to trust that what's meant for you will meet you womb? Because tomorrow belongs to the faithful. Tomorrow belongs to the ones who rise, even when it's dark. Tomorrow belongs to those who believe that their story isn't over yet. Faith over fear. It's not just a mindset, it's a movement. It's a decision to live in power, not panic. It's choosing courage over comfort, purpose over pressure, progress over perfection. So the next time fear knocks, let faith answer the door. Let your belief be louder than your doubts. Let your purpose be stronger than your pain, because faith will carry you where fear never could. Faith will turn your what if into I did. Faith will transform your someday into today. Remember, fear may be a visitor, but faith is the resident. Keep your heart full of faith and your eyes focused on the vision, because the future doesn't belong to the fearful. It belongs to the faithful. And when you start walking with faith, you'll realize that the impossible was only waiting for your belief to make it real. So stop waiting for permission. Stop hesitating. Step out. Trust yourself. Trust the process. Trust the promise. Because fear says a maybe, but faith says a move. And when you move, miracles follow. Tomorrow isn't for those who are afraid to try. It's for those who believe they were born to ride. Faith over fear. That's how you win your tomorrow. Hustle in silence, shine in success is one of the most powerful principles that separate the truly great from the ones who only talk about greatness. You see, everybody wants the spotlight, but very few want to work in the shadow. Very few want to work in the shadow. Everybody wants the applause, but not everyone wants to put in the hours when no one is watching. The truth is, your biggest growth, your strongest breakthroughs, your most defining moments happen in silence, in private, when it's just you, your vision, and your grind. That's where champions are made. That's where destiny is shaped. That's where success begins. Too many people waste time trying to convince the world that they're working hard instead of actually doing the work. They post every move, every plan, every step, hoping for validation. But listen, validation doesn't build success, consistency does. You don't need to announce your hustle to make it real. You just need to show up day after day, grind after grind, mistake after mistake, and keep pushing. Because when the world finally sees you shine, they won't understand how many silent nights it took to get there. They won't see the early mornings, the late nights, the failure, the sacrifices. They'll just see the result and call it luck. But you'll know it wasn't luck. It was silent work, day after day while others were distracted. Hustling in silence isn't about hiding your dreams. It's about protecting them. It's about protecting them, keeping your focus pure and your energy undisturbed. The moment you start talking too much about what you're doing, you invite noise. You invite opinions, doubts, envy, and distractions. But when you move in silence, you keep control. You build without interference. You evolve without explanation. You grow without judgment. And when it's time to shine, the results will speak louder than your words ever could. When you hustle in silence, you learn patience. You learn discipline. You learn to trust the process even when it's lonely. The silent grind teaches you humility. It reminds you that greatness doesn't need attention. It needs action. Every legend you've ever admired had seasons of silence, seasons where they weren't seen, but they were being shaped. Kobe Bryant was in the gym when others were sleeping. Beyonce was rehearsing when others were relaxing. Steve Jobs was building ideas in a garage before anyone even knew his name. They didn't brag. They built. They didn't post. They produced. Your silence is your strategy. It's where your strength grows. It's where your character is formed. Because silence is not weakness, it's focus. And focus is the most dangerous weapon a dreamer can have. When you're focused, you stop comparing. You stop competing with noise. You stop chasing validation and start chasing progress. You stop talking about what you're going to do and start becoming what you said you'd be. You stop needing approval because your purpose becomes your motivation. There's a reason why the roots of a tree grow underground, unseen, uncelebrated, and unnoticed. But they are the foundation that allows the tree to rise tall and unshakable. Your silent hustle's the same. It's your roots. It's the part nobody sees, but everyone benefits from when you finally bloom. Okasanza. People will admire your branches, your shade, your fruits, but they'll never understand the strength of your roots. And that's okay. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your grind. Let your results do the talking. Silence protects your energy. Every word you speak about your goals has power. When you share too much too early, you give away that energy before it's fully formed. People's doubts, negativity, or jealousy can plant seeds of fear in your mind. That's why the wise move quietly. They let the plan unfold privately. They let the success make the announcement. When you reach the top, your work will tell your story better than your words ever could. Hustle in silence also means being okay with being misunderstood. It means people might think you're not doing enough because they can't see your progress. They might think you're lazy because you're not talking about it. But you're not in this to prove them wrong. You're in this to prove yourself right. The grind doesn't need applause. The progress doesn't need validation. Your reward will be the moment when your success is too bright for them to ignore. That's when the same people who doubted your silence will be silenced by your results. By your champion has walked through seasons where no one clapped, no one cared, and no one believed. And that's what makes their shine so powerful, because it came from pure dedication, not attention. The silent seasons test your hunger. They test whether you really want it or just want to be seen wanting it. When you can work without recognition, when you can grind without feedback, when you can keep going without applause, that's when you're unstoppable. Because if you can perform without the crowd, imagine what you'll do when the lights finally hear you. Silence is sacred. It's where your faith grows stronger. It's where you align with your purpose. It's where you hear your inner voice clearly without the noise of the world. When you hustle in silence, you're not just working. You're transforming. You're building not only skills, but mindset. You're learning resilience, patience, and focus. Things no shortcut can teach you. You're investing in yourself when no one else is watching. And that's the kind of investment that always pays back. And then when the time comes, when you've done enough silent work, when your preparation meets opportunity, you shine. You don't have to say a word. You don't have to prove anything. Your success becomes your speech. Your results become your reputation. You don't need to announce your worth because your work has already done it for you. That's what shining in success means. It's not about bragging. It's about becoming undeniable. When you shine in success, you inspire others, not because you told them what you would do, but because you showed them what persistence looks like. You showed them what quiet confidence looks like. You showed them that you don't need to make noise to make impact. The brightest stars don't make sound, they just shine. The loudest in the room is rarely the most powerful. Real power moves with grace, precision, and purpose. You've got to understand that your silence today is not a sign of weakness, it's the sound of strategy. The grind doesn't need to be broadcast. You don't have to announce your next step. In fact, the most successful people move with mystery. They don't tell people what they're planning. They let the results appear like magic. Because what people don't see, they can't sabotage. Protect your dreams like treasures. Don't let everyone have access to them. Not everyone clapping for you wants to see you win. So move quietly, stay humble, and let your victories make the noise. Remember, consistency is louder than any post, any speech, any announcement. You can talk about your plans all day, but talk doesn't move mountains. Work does. Every day you wake up, remind yourself, I'm not here to talk about it. I'm here to be about it. Because every second you spend explaining your hustle is a second you could have spent building it. You don't need to prove your worth. Your work ethic will prove it for you. When you finally reach a breakthrough, people will act like it happened overnight, but you'll know the truth. You'll know it took years of unseen effort. You'll remember the nights when you felt invisible, the mornings when you wanted to quit, the sacrifices that no one clapped for, and you'll smile because you didn't do it for them. You did it for the purpose that burns inside you. You did it for the dream that wouldn't let you sleep. You did it for the version of yourself to refuse to settle. That's what real success feels like: peace, pride, and power. So keep hustling when no one's watching. Keep working when no one believes. Keep planting seeds even when the soil looks dry. Because one day when your season comes, you won't need to say a thing. The world will see what silence built. Your light will be too bright for them to ignore. And the best part, you'll know that every bit of it came from your discipline, your patience, and your quiet grind. Let them doubt you. Let them overlook you. Let them underestimate you. Because the same people who ignore you today will quote you tomorrow. The same ones who laughed at your silence will one day admire your shine. That's the beauty of hustling in silence. You don't have to chase attention. You attract it naturally when you've earned it. So wake up every day and put in the work. Don't post about it. Don't talk about it. Don't brag about it. Just do it. Because success doesn't care about noise. It cares about results. And when your results show up, they'll speak louder than anything you could have said. Work so hard that your success becomes the announcement. Work so consistently that your name becomes a statement. Work so silently that your victory becomes a surprise. At the end of the day, remember this. Silence builds the foundation and success builds the echo. You don't need the world to clap for you now. Just keep grinding, keep believing, and keep becoming. Because one day your silence will turn into sound. The sound of victory, the sound of achievement, the sound of dreams fulfilled. Hustle in silence, shine in success, and when that light hits, it'll be blinding. Your words shape your world, and the way you speak to yourself determines how far you will go. Too many people wake up every morning and immediately start speaking defeat over their lives. Can't do this. I'll never make it. It's too hard. And then they wonder why their life keeps going in circles, why their energy feels drained before the day even begins. You gotta understand something powerful. Your words carry weight. Every sentence you speak is either building your tomorrow or breaking it down. You can't keep planting negative seeds and expect a positive harvest. You can't talk about failure all day and expect success to show up at your door. The universe responds to what you say. Your mind believes what you repeat, and your future reflects what you declare. If you want to change your tomorrow, you got to start by changing the language you speak today. I'm talking about speaking life, not just wishing for it, but declaring it with authority. When you wake up, you got to say it out loud. Not because everything is perfect, not because you already have what you want, but because you're aligning your mind and your mouth with your purpose. You might not see the results yet, but when you speak it long enough, your actions start to follow your words. Your mind says, "Oh, we're built for this." Your heart says, "We can do this." Your soul says, "Let's go." It's a shift that happens when you decide to stop letting fear, doubt, and negativity have the microphone in your life. You take the mic back and speak power into your path. The truth is, every successful person learned this secret early. They realize that before success shows up in reality, it shows up in your vocabulary. Before you can live it, you gotta speak it. Before you can walk in confidence, you gotta talk in confidence. Look back at history. Every great leader, every champion, every visionary started by declaring something out loud. They spoke their dream before they saw it. They told themselves it's possible when everyone else said it was impossible. They refused to let the words of others drown out the belief in their own voice. You have that same power inside you right now, but you got to start using it intentionally. When you speak light, you're not ignoring reality, you're reshaping it. You're not pretending that the pain doesn't exist. You're deciding that pain won't define your story. You're not running from challenges. You're declaring victory before the battle even begins. Life will test you. Life will try to silence you. But that's when you need to speak even louder. When doubt whispers you can't, you shout back and watch me. When fear says you'll fail, you respond, I will rise. The moment you start talking like a winner, you start acting like one. And when your actions catch up to your words, that's when transformation begins. Think about it. The same tongue that can destroy can also build. The same words that can discourage can also inspire. You decide which one you'll use. You decide whether your voice becomes a weapon of destruction or a tool of creation. Stop using your words to curse your future. Stop talking yourself out of blessings because of temporary setbacks. Every time you say, I can't, you're shutting a door that could have opened. Every time you say it's impossible, you're building a wall that blocks your own progress. But every time you say, I will, I am, you're planting seeds that grow into purpose, confidence, and strength. It's not easy, I get that. Some of you have spent years surrounded by negativity, from people, from environments, even from your own mind. It's hard to unlearn that language. But the first step toward transformation is awareness. Start catching yourself when you speak doubt. Replace it with something powerful. Instead of saying, I'll never be successful, say, I'm learning, I'm growing, and success is on its way. Instead of saying, I'm tired of failing, say, every failure is preparing me for my breakthrough. Instead of saying, I'm not enough, say, I am becoming enough every single day. That's not arrogance. That's alignment with purpose. You're speaking life into the version of you that's trying to emerge. When you speak life, it doesn't just change your attitude. It changes your energy. You start attracting better opportunities, better people, better experiences, because positivity is magnetic. Confidence is contagious. The moment you start talking like you belong in success, success starts paying attention. You stop chasing validation from others because you've already validated yourself. You stop waiting for others to speak life into you because you've learned how to speak it for yourself. That's real power. When you don't depend on outside noise to determine your inner peace. Sometimes people will laugh at you for speaking with confidence when they only see your struggle. They'll say, who are you to talk like that? But they don't understand. You're not speaking from where you are. You're speaking from where you're going. You're declaring the promise before the proof. You're calling forth your destiny before the evidence shows up. Don't let their disbelief silence your declaration. You're not crazy. You're creating. You're not delusional. You're determined. Keep speaking. Keep believing. Keep declaring. The world might not see it yet, but they will. You have to be your own hype man sometimes. You've got to look in the mirror and remind yourself of who you are when life tries to make you forget. Speak it until you believe it. Speak it until your body feels it. Speak it until every cell in your being wakes up to your potential. That's how you build an unbreakable mindset. Not through comfort, but through consistent declarations of power. You may be tired, but speak strength. You may be broke, but speak abundance. You may be lost, but speak direction. You may be hurting, but speak healing. You are what you repeatedly declare yourself to be. Your words have the power to set the tone of your entire day. You can wake up and say, another hard day, and your mind will agree. It'll find proof all day long that it's hard. Or you can wake up and say, this is my day. I'm ready for anything. And guess what? Your mind will find proof of that too. Life follows language. The energy you release through your words boomerangs back into your experience. If you speak frustration, you attract frustration. If you speak faith, you attract favor. It's not magic, it's mindset. But you can't just speak life once and expect everything to change overnight. You gotta make it a lifestyle. Daily affirmations, daily declarations, daily reminders of who you are becoming. Consistency is key. It's like watering seed. You don't see the growth right away, but beneath the surface, things are shifting. Your words are breaking the ground. Your belief is feeding the roots. And in time, your vision starts to bloom. So keep speaking life even when it feels pointless. Keep declaring victory even when it looks like defeat. Because one day you'll look back and realize that everything you spoke in faith became your reality. Some of you have powerful dreams inside you, but your words are killing them before they can breathe. You say, I want to start a business, but then you add, I'm not good enough. You say, I want to change my life, but then you add, it's too late. You're canceling your own dreams with a mouth. You've got to stop that today. Start saying, I'm learning what it takes. Start saying, it's not too late for me. Start saying, I have everything I need to start. That small shift will ignite something powerful in you. Belief. And once belief catches fire, nothing stops you. The greatest transformations start with words. A let there be light wasn't just a phrase. It was a command that changed everything. You have that same power to create light in your dark places. You can speak illumination into confusion, direction into doubt, strength into weakness. The only difference between the person who stays stuck and the person who moves forward is the language they use. One said, why me? The other says, try me. One complains about the storm. The other declares, I am the storm. Choose which voice you'll let guide your path. You might think your words don't matter, but they do. Your future is listening. Your destiny is waiting for instruction. Every I am statement you make is sending a message to your subconscious mind. It's programming your belief system. So when you say, I am confident, your mind starts looking for reasons to prove it. When you say, I am unstoppable, your actions begin to reflect that truth. But if you keep saying, well, I'm tired, I'm unlucky, I am stuck, your life will match those words too. You have the remote control. Choose the right channel. Speak life, not just for yourself, but for the people around you too. Be the voice of encouragement in a world full of criticism. Tell your friends they're capable. Tell your family they're loved. Tell yourself you're chosen. Because when you start spreading that kind of energy, it comes back multiplied. A rising tide lifts all ships, and your positive words can create waves of transformation that reach far beyond your own life. So from this moment on, guard your tongue like treasure. Speak words that lift, not limit. Words that build, not break. Words that guide, not guilt. When life knocks you down, don't use your breath to complain. Use it to declare your comeback. Tell the world, I'm not done yet. Tell yourself, I'm still standing. Tell your fears you picked the wrong one. Because you have greatness in you, and it's waiting for you to speak it into existence. Tomorrow is yours, but only if you speak it today. Open your mouth and create the world you want to live in. Speak life into your future and watch as the doors you once thought were locked begin to open. The power is not out there. It's inside you. You just got to use it. So say it loud, say it proud, say it every day. I am strong, I'm ready, I'm unstoppable. Speak life and your life will start to reflect everything you ever believed you could become. Pain is temporary. Purpose is eternal. A truth that every successful person understands deep in their soul. The reality is this: everyone faces pain. Everyone walks through dark moments, heartbreak, failure, rejection, and loss. Pain is part of the process. It's part of the journey. You cannot grow without it. You cannot rise without it. And you cannot fulfill your purpose without going through seasons that break you, shape you, and refine you. Pain doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to develop you. It doesn't come to weaken you. It comes to prepare you for something greater. The problem is that too many people quit when it hurts. They stop pushing when the pressure comes. But those who understand that pain is temporary know that it's not there to last. It's there to pass. And when it passes, it leaves strength behind. You see, purpose gives your pain meaning. Without purpose, pain feels like punishment. But with purpose, pain becomes preparation. Every time you go through something difficult, you have two choices. You can see it as the end or as the evolution of something new within you. Every great story has a struggle. Every victory comes after a battle. Every diamond was once just a piece of carbon under pressure. That's what pain is, pressure. And pressure is proof that you're being molded into something stronger, something sharper, something greater. When you look at people who have achieved greatness, athletes, leaders, creators, dreamers, they've all faced moments of pain that could have broken them. But instead of running from it, they embraced it. They learned from it. They used it as fuel. Pain taught them lessons that comfort never could. Because comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort keeps you the same. Pain forces you to change. Pain wakes you up. It makes you question, reflect, and rebuild. It pushes you to go beyond what you thought was possible. And when you finally rise from that pain, you realize that it didn't take from you. It gave you everything you needed to step into your purpose. There will be moments in your life when the weight of your struggles feels unbearable, when it feels like you can't take another step. But that's when you must remind yourself that this is temporary. Every storm runs out of rain. Every night eventually meets the morning. The question is not whether the pain will end, it's whether you'll endure long enough to see what it was trying to teach you. Because pain doesn't last, but quitting does. Regret lasts. Giving lasts. And when you quit, you rob yourself of the victory that was waiting on the other side of the struggle. Purpose is what makes the pain work. When you have a reason, when you have a vision, when you know why you're doing what you're doing, you can enjoy almost anything. You can take the hits. You can keep moving through the tears. Because you understand that the pain isn't punishment, it's positioning. It's positioning you where you need to be. It's shaping your character, your mindset, your resilience. It's stripping away weakness so that what's left is pure strength. So many people want success without suffering, results without resistance, greatness without grind. But that's not how it works. You can't skip the pain and still reach the purpose. Pain is the price you pay for growth. It's the evidence that you're pushing past your limits. And when you stop running from pain and start learning from it, everything changes. Pain becomes your teacher. It becomes your motivator. It becomes your reminder that you're still alive, still fighting, still capable of more. When life hits you hard, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because every pain has a message. Every challenge carries a lesson, and every lesson brings you closer to your purpose. You might not understand it now, but one day you'll look back and realize that the very pain you thought would break you actually built you. The heartbreak made you wiser. The failure made you stronger. The rejection redirected you to something better. The struggle revealed your strength. Think about it. When you're in the gym, your muscles only grow when you push them beyond the comfort zone. The resistance causes tiny tears in your muscle fiber, and those tears are what allow them to rebuild bigger and stronger. Pain works the same way in life. Every trial, every setback, every disappointment is tearing down the old you so that the new, stronger, wiser, more resilient you can emerge. That's how you grow. That's how you evolve. That's how you fulfill your purpose. You've got to stop seeing pain as a sign to stop and start seeing it as a sign to keep going. The pain is proof that you're making progress. It's proof that you're moving forward. You're breaking barriers, stretching your limits, and stepping into a new level of who you are meant to be. If you stop when it hurts, you'll never see how strong you can be. But if you keep going, you'll see that the pain that once scared you becomes the power that fuels you. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life come right after the greatest pain. The darkest nights often produce the brightest mornings. When you feel like giving up, that's usually the moment you're closest to a breakthrough. Because pain increases right before the transformation happens. It's like the moment before birth. The most intense pain precedes the greatest miracle. The same is true for your dreams, your goals, your calling. The struggle you're facing is not a sign of failure. It's a sign that something powerful is about to be born. You've got to understand that your purpose is eternal. It doesn't disappear when times get tough. It doesn't fade when life gets hard. Your purpose is part of who you are. It's written in your DNA. Pain may delay it, but it cannot destroy it. The fire inside you was placed there for a reason, to burn through every obstacle, every fear, every setback. That's why you must never let temporary pain make you forget your permanent purpose. You can cry, but don't quit. You can fall, but don't stay down. You can hurt, but don't stop healing. Because as long as you keep moving, you're still on the path to your purpose. When you look at your pain through the lens of purpose, you realize it wasn't wasted. Nothing you've been through was meaningless. Every tear, every heartbreak, every sleepless night had a reason. It was preparing you for the next chapter of your story. Pain refines you. Sure, it teaches you empathy, patience, and strength. It teaches you to appreciate peace, to value joy, and to stay humble. Pain keeps you grounded. It reminds you where you came from. It reminds you that everything valuable in life has a price. Purpose-driven people don't let pain define them. They let drive them. They understand that pain can either be a prison or a platform. You can let it lock you down, or you can let it lock you down, or you can let it lift you up. You can let it make you bitter, or let it make you better. The choice is always yours. When you focus on purpose, you stop asking for the pain to end and start asking for the strength to endure it. You stop avoiding challenges and start embracing them as stepping stones. Every time you overcome pain, your confidence grows. You start realizing that you are capable of far more than you ever thought. You start trusting yourself more. You start believing that no matter what comes your way, you'll find a way through. And that's the power of purpose. It gives your pain a reason to exist. It transforms your suffering into strength and your wounds into wisdom. One day someone will look at your life and think it was easy. They'll see your success, your strength, your smile, but they won't see the pain behind it. They won't see the nights you wanted to give up, the battles you fought alone, the moments you cried in silence. But you'll know that your glow came from your grind, that your peace came from your pain, that your purpose was born through pressure. And that's why you'll never take it for granted. You have to remember this truth. Pain is not the opposite of purpose. It's part of it. Without pain, you wouldn't have passion. Without struggle, you wouldn't have strength. Without loss, you wouldn't have gratitude. Pain connects you to your humanity. It connects you to others. It gives your life depth and meaning. It reminds you that every victory is earned, not given. So the next time pain visits, don't run from it. Face it, feel it. Learn from it, let it mold you. Because every time you survive something you thought you could, you become unbreakable. People are unstoppable. When pain comes, tell yourself that this will not last, but what I learned from it will stay forever. Pain is temporary, but what it produces, strength, wisdom, character, purpose, lasts a lifetime. Don't let a moment of struggle make you give up on a lifetime of meaning. Keep going through the pain, because the reward waiting on the other side will make it all worth it. The suffering will fade, but the story will remain. The wounds will heal, but the lessons will live forever. Your purpose is eternal. It's the reason you're still standing. It's the reason you wake up every day with a fire inside you. The pain you're facing today will one day become the testimony that inspires someone else. It will become proof that you can turn pain into power and weakness into strength. So keep walking, keep believing, keep pushing. Because pain might visit for a night, but purpose stays for a lifetime. Tomorrow doesn't wait for the undecided. The clock keeps ticking whether you move or not. And the world doesn't stop spinning because you're unsure. You've got dreams sitting inside you, visions that keep you awake at night, goals that whisper your name every single day. But none of it will ever become real until you decide to start. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when the timing is right, now. You can't keep waiting for the perfect moment, because the truth is there's no such thing. The perfect moment is the one you create by stepping forward when everyone else is standing still. You don't need all the answers, you don't need all the resources, and you don't need permission. You just need to begin. Starting now means refusing to let fear paralyze you any longer. It means silencing the voice in your head that keeps saying, what if I fail? And replacing it with, what if I fly? You've spent too much time standing on the edge, thinking, overthinking, analyzing every risk until opportunity slips through your fingers. The people who make it in life aren't always the smartest or most talented. They're the ones who act while others are still talking. They move, they try, they fall, and they get back up. Every step forward, even the smallest one, builds momentum. And momentum is the silent force that separates the dreamers from the doers. You've got to stop waiting for confidence to show up before you take the leap. Confidence doesn't come first. Courage does. You gain confidence by doing, by failing, by trying again. Every single successful person you admire started with fear in their chest, doubt in their mind, and trembling hands. But they moved anyway. They made mistakes, learned and adjusted. They didn't sit around waiting for conditions to be perfect. They made progress in imperfection. If you wait for everything to line up perfectly before you act, you'll spend your whole life waiting. Progress beats perfection every single time. Starting now is an act of rebellion against procrastination. Procrastination is the dream killer. It whispers sweet lies. You have time. You can do it later. You're not ready yet. And before you know it, later becomes never. You keep putting things off, and then you wake up one day realizing the opportunity has passed. The world moved on, and you're still stuck in someday. Listen to me. Someday is not a day on the calendar. If you don't assign your dream a date, it'll stay a fantasy forever. The people who build something meaningful, who change their lives, who create impact, are the ones who choose to start even when it's inconvenient. Don't wait for motivation either. Motivation is like a spark. It fades quickly. Discipline is what keeps the fire burning. You won't always feel like starting, but that's exactly when you need to, because the hardest step to take is always the first one. Once you start, your brain adjusts, your energy shifts, and your focus strengthens. The resistance you felt begins to fade. The key is to stop negotiating with your excuses. Stop telling yourself, I'll start when I have more time, because you'll never magically find more time. You've got to make it. If it matters, you'll find a way. If it doesn't, you'll find an excuse. You need to understand this. Time is not waiting for you. Every second you hesitate, someone else is out there putting in the work, taking the chance, building the life you keep saying you want. The difference between the person who succeeds and the one who doesn't isn't talent, it's urgency. One acts like their dream is oxygen. The other treats it like an option. You got to develop a sense of urgency about your life. You don't know how much time you have left, and you can't keep wasting it on fear, doubt, or hesitation. The graveyard is full of unfulfilled dreams, unrealized potential, and people who said, I'll start tomorrow. Don't let that be your story. Starting now means choosing to take control of your destiny instead of being controlled by your circumstances. You might not have everything figured out, but action brings clarity. When you start, doors open that you couldn't even see before. The path becomes clearer because you're walking it. You can't steer a parked car. You've got to start moving before direction appears. Some of you are praying for signs, asking for confirmation, waiting for the universe to speak. But maybe the universe is waiting for you to move. Once you start, opportunities align. People show up and momentum carries you forward. Every giant leap begins with a single small step. You don't have to write the whole book today, just write the first page. You don't have to run the marathon, just take the first stride. You don't have to have the perfect plan, just start with what you have. The miracle movement is that it compounds. One small action builds on another until you look back and realize you've come further than you ever imagined. You can't reach the mountaintop by staring at it. You climb it one step at a time, and it all begins the moment you decide to start now. But let me be real. Starting now doesn't mean it'll be easy. You will fall. You will stumble. You will question yourself. That's part of the process. The pain you'll face along the way isn't a sign you're failing. It's proof that you're growing. It's proof that you're growing. Every obstacle, every rejection, every delay is teaching you something essential. The ones who quit never get to see what the struggle was shaping them for. So when it gets tough, remind yourself why you started. Keep going. You'll thank yourself later for the courage you showed today. Too many people get stuck in planning mode. They spend all their time preparing, researching, and waiting for their right moment. And in doing so, they never actually execute. Planning is good, but over-planning is a trap. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You just need to trust that one step will lead to the next. Action creates experience, and experience builds wisdom. You'll learn more by doing for 1 week than by planning for 1 year. There's something powerful about momentum. Once you start, your brain adapts, your confidence grows, and you begin to expect progress. But you can't build momentum if you're stuck in neutral. The first push is always the hardest, but once you're moving, everything starts to flow. You begin to attract opportunities that align with your movement. The world rewards action, not intentions, not dreams, but action. You might be scared. You might be uncertain, but courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of it. Don't let comparison hold you back either. Stop looking at where others are and thinking you're too far behind. You're not behind. You're just not moving yet. The moment you start, you're already ahead of everyone still waiting. Everyone starts somewhere. The people you admire had a day one too. They weren't experts when they began. They became experts because they started. Your beginning may be messy, but that's how every masterpiece starts. You owe it to yourself to begin. You owe it to the person you become. You owe it to the version of you that's been dreaming for too long. Start now because tomorrow is never guaranteed. Start now because the longer you wait, the louder your doubts become. Start now because progress, even slow progress, is better than standing still. Don't worry about failing. Failure isn't fatal. It's feedback. Every mistake teaches you something success never could. Starting now means accepting that you might not get it right immediately, but you'll get better every single time you try. You'll never feel completely ready, and that's okay. Readiness is a myth. The only way to get ready is to begin. Every master was once a beginner who had the courage to take the first step. Don't rob yourself of the chance to grow because you're afraid of looking foolish at the start. Everyone stumbles in the beginning. That's how you learn balance. The discomfort you feel when starting is just your old self fighting the change your new self needs. Push through it. The first move is always the hardest, but it's also the most powerful. And remember, your start doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Start where you are with what you have and do what you can. Don't wait for someone to hand you a map. You are the map. Every step you take creates the path. You might start small. One idea, one action, one commitment. But if you keep showing up, those small moves become unstoppable momentum. The people who win are not always the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to stop moving. Every moment you delay, your dream gets further away. Every excuse you make adds one more day of regret. There will never be a right time. There's only now. Right now, you have the chance to take the first step toward everything you've ever wanted. It doesn't matter if you're scared. It doesn't matter if you don't know how it will end. What matters is that you begin. Because once you do, you start to change not just your future, for your mindset, your habits, and your life. So start now. Not because you have to, but because you deserve to. You deserve the life you've imagined. You deserve the success you've worked for in your heart. You deserve to wake up every day knowing you're living with purpose. Don't let fear talk you out of that. Don't let doubt convince you to stay still. You waited long enough. The world needs your gifts, your voice, your vision, and it needs them now. Tomorrow doesn't belong to the ones who hesitate. It belongs to the ones who move. Don't wait for another sunrise to make a change. Don't wait for another month to take that step. Start now. Because when you move, the universe moves with you. When you act, life responds. When you begin, destiny begins to unfold. You don't need to be perfect. Just present. You don't need to know everything. Just believe something. You don't need to wait for someday, because someday is today. So stand up, breathe deep, and say it with conviction. I'm ready. I'm starting now. And once you do, watch how your entire world starts to shift in your favor. You've come this far, and now it's time to make a decision. Life won't hand you your dreams on a silver platter. It will test you, it will challenge you, it will stretch you, but it will also reward you if you're brave enough to begin. The message of everything you've heard isn't about waiting for the right opportunity. It's about becoming the kind of person who creates it. You have everything you need right now. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now. The only thing standing between who you are and who you're meant to be is the step you haven't taken yet. You plan, you dream, you imagine, but now it's time to move. The longer you wait, the heavier that dream becomes, the louder your doubts grow, and the further away your goals feel. But the moment you decide to act, everything starts to change. The truth is, you don't need permission to start. Nobody is coming to tap you on the shoulder and say, it's your time. You have to declare that for yourself. You have to wake up every day and tell the world, this is my season, this is my moment, this is my turn. Because if you keep waiting for someone to save you, you'll stay waiting. The power to change your life has always been in your hands. You just have to choose to use it. There will always be reasons to wait. Fear, uncertainty, lack of resources. But there will never be a better time than now. Every excuse you make today will become your regret tomorrow. So decide today that you're done watching from the sidelines. You're done letting your potential collect dust. You're done letting fear win the battle for your future. The world doesn't remember the ones who almost started. It remembers the ones who did. It remembers the ones who did. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to know how everything will unfold. You just need to trust yourself enough to take the first step. Once you do, momentum will take over. Opportunities you couldn't see before will start appearing. People who can help you will cross your path. But none of that happens until you start moving. When you decide to start now, you send a message to life that you're serious. You tell the universe, I'm ready. And life always responds to readiness. The path won't be easy. You'll stumble, you'll fail, you'll question yourself. But each setback is a lesson. Each fall is building a stronger version of you. You'll start to realize that the goal was never just about achieving something. It was about becoming someone. Every bit of resistance you face on the way is shaping you into the kind of person who can handle the success you're chasing. Don't curse the process. It's preparing you for everything you ask for. The people who win in life aren't those who had the best start. They're the ones who refused to stop. They're the ones who kept going when the excitement faded. They showed up when no one was watching. They kept building when no one was clapping. You got that same power inside you. You don't need external validation to keep moving. You just need internal conviction. Remind yourself every day that progress, not perfection, is the goal. Every step you take is evidence that you're no longer stuck. Every effort you make, no matter how small, moves you closer to the life you want. Don't underestimate the power of starting small. Big dreams are built on small actions repeated consistently. Every great empire began with one decision to start. The people who reach their goals aren't lucky. They're relentless. They don't stop until they're tired. They stop when they're done. They understand that the journey is long, but that every second counts. You can't rush growth, but you can commit to it. Every time you choose to act, even when you don't feel like it, you're building character. And that character will carry you further than talent ever could. As you move forward, you'll realize that starting now isn't just about chasing dreams. It's about honoring yourself. It's about respecting the gift of time and refusing to waste it. It's about recognizing that you are capable of more than you've been showing. You are powerful. You are gifted. You are equipped. But none of that matters if you stay stuck in the maybe later. The world doesn't need another person who plays small. It needs people who show up, who take chances, who believe enough to begin even when the odds are stacked against them. Be that person. Be the one who decides that fear will no longer have the final say. You owe it to yourself to try, even if it's scary, even if it's uncertain, even if you don't know what comes next. Because regret will always hurt more than failure. You can recover from failure, but you can't rewind time. 10 years from now, you'll look back and either be proud you started or wish you had. Choose pride. Choose action. Choose now. You've been waiting for a sign. This is it. The fact that you're still here breathing alive with another chance, that is your sign. The universe has already given you permission. All that's left is for you to take the step. Understand this. Greatness doesn't come from comfort. It comes from courage. It comes from deciding that you're tired of being where you are and daring to reach for more. Every day you hesitate is a day you could have been building your future. Stop letting fear control the story. Fear is not a stop sign. It's a signal that something important is on the other side. Step through it. Push past it. Because beyond that fear lies the version of you that you were always meant to be. You got a fire inside you that's been waiting to burn brighter. Don't smother it with excuses. Feed it with action. You don't need all the lights green to start driving. Just take the first green light in front of you. The rest will turn when you get there. You'll learn along the way. You'll adapt. You'll grow. And one day you'll look back and realize that everything you feared was never as powerful as you thought. What mattered was that you started. Starting now doesn't guarantee instant success, but it guarantees progress. Every day you show up, you move one step closer to your breakthrough. It's like planting a seed. It doesn't bloom overnight, but if you water it daily, it will grow. Keep showing up even when the results aren't visible yet, because that consistency is building roots deep within you. You're not just chasing goals. You're building a foundation strong enough to carry everything you're destined for. And when that moment comes, when the results start to show, when the world starts to notice, you'll know it was worth it. You'll know that all those days you chose to act, even when no one cared, were preparing you for this. You realize that the hardest part was never the work, it was starting. But because you started, you gave yourself a chance. You gave yourself a future. You gave yourself freedom. So let this be your declaration. I'm done waiting. I'm done doubting. I'm done letting fear control my story. I'm starting now. Say it, mean it, live. Say it, mean it, live it. And when tomorrow comes, you'll meet it as someone who chose to move forward instead of standing still. That's how transformation begins. Not with a miracle, but with a decision. Tomorrow belongs to those who act today. And you right here, right now, have that power. The power to begin, the power to rise, the power to create the life you've always wanted. Don't waste another moment. Take that step. Build that dream, start now, and never look back. Listen to me. Tomorrow is yours, but only if you're willing to fight for it today. Too many people want the success of tomorrow while living with the habits of yesterday. You want the reward, but you don't want the responsibility. You want the outcome, but you don't want the process. You want the promise, but you don't want the pressure. But hear me, tomorrow doesn't belong to the lucky. It belongs to the discipline. Some of you keep saying, one day I'll change, one day I'll start, one day I'll become. But one day is not a date on the calendar. It's an excuse you're using to stay comfortable. If you want a better life, if you want a better future, then you've got to decide that your one day starts today, not next month, not next year, today. You keep waiting for the perfect moment. You keep waiting for motivation to magically appear. You keep waiting for someone to rescue you. But let me be real with you. Nobody's coming. Nobody's going to hand you the life you dream about. Nobody's going to give you the success you admire on social media. You've got to get up, get focused, and go get it yourself. You've survived too much to quit now. You've gone through storms. heartbreaks, failures, disappointments, and you're still standing. That means something. That means you're stronger than you think. That means you are built for greatness. That means if you commit to the grind will reward you. Every sacrifice you make today, every hour you study, every push you give when you're tired, every tear you cry when nobody sees, every moment you choose discipline over distraction. Listen to me. It all compounds into your tomorrow. Tomorrow is not created on accident. It's created by intention. Tomorrow's not created by wishes. It's created by work. Tomorrow is not created by hope. It's created by habits. I need you to stop living like you've got unlimited time. Some of you act like life owes you another year, another chance, another opportunity. No, you owe life your effort. You owe life your commitment. You owe life the best version of you. Wake up with purpose. Wake up hungry. Wake up with a mindset that says, today I'm planting the seeds for the future I deserve. Because the truth is simple. If you show up today, tomorrow will show up for you. If you give everything today, tomorrow will give back to you. If you fight for your dream today, tomorrow will belong to you. So listen, don't let fear steal your tomorrow. Don't let excuses rob your destiny. Don't let laziness sabotage your future. Say it out loud with me. Tomorrow is mine. Say it again. Tomorrow is mine. Now go out there, grind like your life depends on it, and build the tomorrow that has your name on it. Because tomorrow is yours, but only if you earn it today. Tomorrow belongs to those who take full responsibility today. And that's the truth most people run from. It's easier to blame circumstances, to blame childhood, to blame the economy, to blame lack of support than it is to look in the mirror and say, I am responsible for where I am and where I'm going. But the moment you take responsibility is the moment everything shifts. Responsibility is not about guilt or fault. It's about power. It's about taking ownership of your time, your habits, your decisions, your reactions, and your mindset. Responsibility is the steering wheel of your life. When you don't hold it, life drives you anywhere it wants. But when you grab it, when you grip it tight, you can direct yourself toward a future you've never experienced before. Some people talk about tomorrow like it's some magical place where everything will suddenly work out. They believe that somehow, without changing anything today, their life will be better tomorrow. But life doesn't work like that. Tomorrow is not a miracle. Tomorrow is a reflection, an echo of what you do today. And if today is full of excuses, distractions, laziness, procrastination, and blame, then tomorrow will be full of regret. If today is full of effort, discipline, courage, focus, and intentionality, then tomorrow will be full of progress. It's a simple formula, but people complicate it because they don't want to admit that the power is in their hands. Responsibility means you stop waiting for the right moment, waiting for motivation, waiting for someone to believe in you, waiting for a sign, waiting for a perfect environment. If you're waiting, you're losing. There is no perfect moment. There is no perfect opportunity. There is no perfect time. The only time you have is right now, and it belongs to you. Taking responsibility means understanding that your life is not paused. Time is moving whether you move or not. And if you don't act today, time will leave you behind. You can't blame your past forever. Maybe you didn't grow up with support. Maybe you didn't have mentors. Maybe you made mistakes. Maybe people failed you, hurt you, lied to you, abandoned you. But none of that changes what you can do right now. Responsibility frees you from the chains of the past. It doesn't deny your pain, but it empowers you to rise above it. When you accept responsibility, you stop letting what happened to you dictate what happens next. You stop letting old wounds shape new decisions. You stop letting yesterday write tomorrow's script. Taking responsibility means rewriting your story with your own pen. People who take responsibility don't wait for motivation. They create momentum. They don't depend on energy. They depend on discipline. They don't need everything to feel good before they take action. They act first, and the feeling follows. They don't choose the easy path. They choose the meaningful one. And because they choose responsibility, they grow faster, stronger, and wiser. They learn from every mistake. They adapt. They stay hungry. They stay humble. Every day they show up, not because someone is watching, but because their future self is depending on them. Responsibility is a mindset. It's waking up and asking yourself, what can I control today? You can't control the weather, but you can control your attitude. You can't control people, but you can control your reactions. You can't control delays, but you can control what you do while you wait. You can't control every outcome, but you can control your effort. Responsibility is choosing not to be a victim of circumstances, but a creator of possibilities. It's choosing to respond intentionally instead of reacting emotionally. It's choosing to put in the work even when the results aren't visible yet. So many people want the rewards without the responsibility. They want wealth without financial discipline. They want good grades without studying. They want a strong body without training. They want peace without self-control. They want confidence without facing fear. They want respect without integrity. They want success without sacrifice. But there is no gain without responsibility. Every blessing has a requirement. Every dream has a price. Every goal demands ownership. And when you accept that, you separate yourself from the crowd. Taking responsibility is the highest form of self-respect. When you take ownership of your life, you send a message to yourself. I am worth the effort. I am worth the struggle. I am worth the discipline. Responsibility builds confidence because it proves you can trust yourself. When you keep your word to yourself, when you follow through on your commitments, when you push even when it's hard, you begin to believe in your own power. And once you truly believe in yourself, there's nothing you can't build, nothing you can't learn, nothing you can't overcome. Responsibility also reveals your character. It shows up in the small things, how you use your time, how you manage your habits, how you treat people, how you handle pressure. Success is not built on big moments. It's built on small choices repeated every day. The choice to wake up early, the choice to put the phone away, choice to work when you don't feel like it, the choice to learn instead of complain, the choice to improve instead of envy, the choice to keep going instead of quitting. Responsibility means understanding that every small choice is shaping your tomorrow. People who take responsibility don't fear failure because they know failure is part of the growth process. They don't run from mistakes. They learn from them. They don't shy away from challenges. They tackle them head on. Responsibility turns challenges into training, setbacks into lessons, and obstacles into opportunities. When you take responsibility, life stops happening to you and starts happening for you. You begin to see every struggle as preparation. Every difficulty becomes a tool. Every experience becomes a stepping stone. But responsibility requires honesty, brutal honesty. You have to be honest about your weaknesses, your distractions, your bad habits, your excuses. You have to admit when you're not giving your best. You have to admit when you're avoiding the hard things. You have to admit when you're settling for less. Responsibility is not about beating yourself up. It's about being real enough to change. When you are honest with yourself, growth becomes possible. When you are honest, you can rebuild. When you are honest, you can evolve. Taking responsibility is not a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment. Every morning you choose responsibility, and every night you see the results of that choice. Some days you will do great. Some days you will struggle. Some days you will fall short. But responsibility means you don't quit. It means you adjust, improve, and come back stronger. It means you stay accountable. It means you own your results, both good and bad. Tomorrow belongs to the ones who show up when it's hard, the ones who take responsibility, even when they're tired, the ones who keep going when others give up, the ones who build discipline brick by brick, the ones who choose growth over comfort, the ones who do what needs to be done even when nobody is watching, the ones who carry their own weight and never wait for someone else to carry it for them. Responsibility is the seed and tomorrow is the harvest. The quality of your harvest depends on the quality of your decisions today. Success doesn't care about your excuses. Success doesn't care about your feelings. Success doesn't care about how tough your past was. Success responds to responsibility. Success responds to discipline. Success responds to consistent effort. Taking responsibility transforms you. It strengthens your mind, your work ethic, your confidence, your values. It turns potential into progress. It turns dreams into plans. It turns effort into achievement. When you take responsibility, you stop being a spectator and become a participant in your own destiny. You stop reacting to life and start creating life. You stop drifting and start directing. Tomorrow belongs to the people who wake up today and say, I will not waste this day. I will not waste my talent. I will not waste my potential. I will not wait for permission. I will not be controlled by excuses. I will take full responsibility for everything that happens next. Because when you take responsibility, you unlock your potential. You unlock your strength. You unlock your future. And eventually you unlock the tomorrow that has been waiting for you all along. Your future success is shaped by your present habits, not your dreams. And that's the truth most people never want to face. Everybody has dreams. Everybody has visions. Everybody has this picture in their mind of the life they want to live one day. But dreams don't build your future. Habits do. Dreams are the blueprint, but habits are the bricks. Dreams are the vision, but habits are the foundation. Dreams tell you where you want to go, but habits determine whether you will ever arrive there. People love dreaming because dreaming is easy. It feels good. It makes you feel like you're already living the success you're imagining. But habits require effort, discipline, repetition, sacrifice, and consistency. Things that don't feel good in the moment, but completely transform you over time. Your future is being built right now, whether you're aware of it or not. Every small choice you make today is shaping the person you will be tomorrow. The time you wake up, the way you talk to yourself, the discipline you show when nobody's watching, the way you handle pressure, the way you manage your energy, the way you respond to discomfort, the way you use your free hours. These little choices are not little. They are creating the architecture of your future. They are forming your identity. They are carving your destiny. The person you're becoming is far more important than the dream you're imagining. Some people think their dreams are enough. They think wanting success is the same as building success. They think desire is the same as discipline. They think passion is the same as performance. But life doesn't reward wishers, it rewards workers. The universe doesn't give you what you dream about, it gives you what you practice. You can't dream your way into a new life, but you can habit your way into it. That's why your habits matter more than your mood, your feelings, and even your talent. Because talent without habits will fail every time. Passion without habits leads to inconsistency. Good intentions without habits turn into regrets. Habits are powerful because they shape your identity on a deep level. When you consistently do something, you begin to see yourself differently. If you work out every day, you start seeing yourself as someone who values their health. If you wake up early, you start seeing yourself as someone who controls their time. If you study every day, you see yourself as someone who's serious about their future. Habits change how you view yourself, and how you view yourself determines what you believe you're capable of. This is why building strong habits is the most important investment you can make. It changes your identity. And when your identity changes, your entire life follows. Your future success is not built in big dramatic moments. It's built in the mundane, the repetitive, the unglamorous, the things nobody applauds you for, the early mornings when you'd rather sleep, the late nights when you'd rather quit, the study sessions when your brain is tired, the workouts when your body wants to give up, the quiet hours of practice, the times you stay focused while everyone else is distracted. These are the moments that shape you. The world doesn't see them. People don't praise them. But your future feels every single one of them. Some people wonder why their life never changes, why year after year looks the same, why they stay stuck in the same patterns, the same problems, the same limitations. It's because their habits never change. You can't live like yesterday and expect tomorrow to be different. You can't keep the habits of a broke person and expect the lifestyle of a wealthy one. You can't keep the habits of a distracted person and expect the success of a focused one. You can't keep the habits of a comfortable person and expect the achievements of a disciplined one. Success requires alignment. Your habits must match your dreams. If they don't, your dreams will lose every single time. The truth is, your habits tell the truth about you. They expose your priorities. They reveal your values. They show what you're committed to. People say they want more, but their habits show they're settling for less. People say they want discipline, but their habits show comfort. People say they want success, but their habits show procrastination. You can't hide from your habits. They will always speak louder than your words. That's why you must train them intentionally, not casually, not occasionally, but deliberately, because your future depends on them. Think about the habits you practice on a daily basis? Do they move you forward or pull you backward? Do they energize you or drain you? Do they build your future or sabotage it? Every habit is either depositing into your future or withdrawing from it. Every repeated action is either shaping you into the person you dream of becoming or shaping you into the person you fear becoming. You must evaluate your habits with honesty. You must challenge the habits that hold you back. You must replace them with habits that reinforce the life you want. But building new habits requires patience. Most people quit not because they lack ability, but because they lack patience. They want instant results. They want immediate progress. They want change without consistency. But habits don't work like that. Habits reward persistence. Habits reward repetition. Habits reward resilience. You won't see the results today, but they're coming. You won't feel the transformation this week, but it's happening. The compound effect is real. Small actions multiplied by time equal massive change. The gym you show up to daily will change your body. The studying you do daily will change your intelligence. The discipline you practice daily will change your character. The gratitude you express daily will change your mindset. Your future success is the accumulation of small daily victories. People often ask, well, where do I start? Start small, start simple. Start with one habit that aligns with the future you want. Waking up 30 minutes earlier, drinking more water, reading 10 pages a day, practicing one skill for 20 minutes, cleaning your environment, planning your goals, writing your intentions. Once the habit is stable, add another, then another. Over time, these small habits come together like puzzle pieces to reveal a future you couldn't have imagined when you started. Your habits also determine how you handle adversity. When life gets hard, and it will, your habits become your anchor. If your habits are strong, you don't collapse under pressure. You don't lose yourself when challenges come. You don't give up when results slow down. You don't quit when the journey gets painful. Your habits will carry you when your motivation disappears. Your habits will guide you when your emotions are unstable. Your habits will protect you from self-doubt, fear, and discouragement. This is why disciplined habits are essential. They make you stronger than your circumstances. You must remember that habits don't just shape your actions, they shape your outcomes. If your outcomes aren't changing, it's not because your dream is wrong. It's because your habits aren't aligned. You can't negotiate your way to success. You must habit your way to success. You must earn it with consistency. You must build it with repetition. You must live it daily. There will be days when your habits feel pointless. Days when you don't see any progress, days when it would be easier to skip the work. But these days are the most important. These are the days that separate the dreamers from the doers. These are the days that build the discipline that builds the destiny. Your future self is silently watching you in those moments, hoping you choose to stay committed, because every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are casting a vote for the future you desire. Your dreams matter, but your habits matter more. Your habits are the daily proof that you are serious about your future. They are the evidence that you are committed to what you say you want. They are your investment in the life you will eventually live. And the beauty of habits is that once they are built, they begin to carry you. What once required effort becomes effortless. What once felt difficult becomes natural. What once drained your energy begins to fuel it. And once your habits are aligned with your goals, your success becomes inevitable. Excuses destroy more destinies than failure ever will. And that's the part people don't want to accept. Failure is not the enemy. Failure teaches. Failure toughens you. Failure shapes character. Failure gives clarity. But excuses freeze you. Excuses blind you. Excuses poison your potential. Excuses are the silent killers of dreams because they feel harmless. They feel logical. They feel justified. They sound like reasons, but they operate like chains. Every excuse you hold on to keeps you one step further from the person you were born to become. You have to understand that excuses don't show up as loud, obvious barriers. They come quietly. They come disguised as comfort. They come disguised as protection. They come disguised as self-care, timing, logic, or fairness. An excuse will whisper, you're too tired. You've had a long day. You'll do it tomorrow. Another one will say you don't have the right tools. You don't have the right support. You don't have the right environment. Another one tells you it's not your fault. Look at your circumstances. Look at your past. Look at the people around you. Nobody can blame you for not trying. And you start believing these whispers because they make you feel safe. But safe doesn't build success. Safe doesn't build confidence. Safe doesn't build the future you want. Excuses are comfortable, but they're deadly. They let you stay where you are while convincing you that staying is the smart thing to do. They protect your ego at the cost of your growth. They offer relief in the moment, but lead to regret in the future. When you choose excuses, you're choosing temporary comfort over long-term transformation. You're choosing to be defended instead of being developed. You're choosing to feel good now instead of becoming great later. Some people think excuses are harmless because they aren't doing anything wrong. They're just not doing anything at all. But inaction is just as dangerous as the wrong action. Every time you choose an excuse, you reinforce a pattern of quitting without even trying. You teach your brain to back down whenever something is hard. You teach yourself to run from challenges instead of rising to them. And eventually, excuses become your default response to anything that requires effort. You don't even notice it happening. It becomes automatic. And before you know it, your dreams shrink, your courage fades, and your potential sits untouched. People love blaming circumstances, but circumstances don't create excuses. Mindsets do. Two people can experience the same hardship and respond in completely different ways. One person uses the hardship as justification to stop. The other uses it as motivation to go harder. One person sees the obstacle and decides it's too big. The other sees the same obstacle and decides they must grow bigger. It's not the situation that determines your outcome. It's the story you tell yourself about the situation. And excuses love to rewrite that story into something that sounds reasonable but keeps you powerless. Excuses kill more dreams than failure because failure happens after you try. But excuses stop you before you even begin. Failure gives you something to learn from, something to build on, something to improve. Excuses give you nothing, no lessons, no progress, no growth, just a comfortable stagnation that slowly drains your ambition and confidence. You don't lose your destiny overnight. You lose it one excuse at a time. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I'll start when things calm down. I don't feel ready. What if I fail? What will people think? I'm not good enough yet. Each one of these seems small on its own, but together they're building a cage you can't see. And the worst part, you're holding the key, but you're waiting for someone else to unlock it. Excuses convince you that conditions must be perfect before you begin. But perfection is a myth. Waiting for the perfect moment is just procrastination wearing a mask. You have to become brutally honest with yourself. You have to call out your excuses for what they are. You have to look in the mirror and say, I am getting in my own way. That level of honesty is not easy. It hurts. It exposes your weaknesses. It forces you to confront the truth that you've been blaming everything except yourself. But that honesty is necessary. It's the turning point where you take your power back, because once you stop lying to yourself, you can start changing yourself. Most excuses are born from fear of failing, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown, fear of discomfort, fear of losing something, fear of trying and discovering you're not as good as you hope. And instead of facing fear, people hide behind excuses. Excuses make fear feel logical, but logic doesn't build legacy. Fear doesn't disappear because you avoid it. It disappears because you face it. It disappears because you take action despite it. Every time you push forward, fear shrinks. Every time you choose excuses, fear grows stronger and louder. You have to understand that nobody escapes difficulty. Nobody escapes discomfort. Nobody escapes setbacks. Success is not a straight path. The people who make it aren't the ones with perfect conditions. They're the ones who refuse to be controlled by excuses. They feel the doubt. They feel the fear. They feel the pressure, but they move anyway. They show up anyway. They keep going anyway. Their future is more important than their feelings. You can't let excuses become your identity. You can't allow them to define how you show up. You can't let them shape the way you see yourself, because once you start believing your excuses, you start believing you're incapable. And once you believe you're incapable, you stop trying altogether. The mind follows the belief and the behavior follows the mind. If you want to change your life, you must first change your patterns. You must replace excuses with responsibility. Replace I can't with I will try. Replace I don't feel like it with I'll do it anyway. Replace it's not the right time with now is the only time I have. Replace I don't know how with I'll learn. Replace I'm scared with I'm brave enough to act scared. When you change your language, you change your mindset. When you change your mindset, you change your future. Self-discipline is built in the moments when excuses feel the strongest, when you wake up tired, when you don't feel motivated, when life is stressful, when you're overwhelmed, when everything seems too hard. Those moments are not signs to quit. They are opportunities to strengthen your identity. Every time you push through an excuse, you're teaching yourself resilience. You're teaching yourself self-control. You're teaching yourself that you are stronger than your feelings. Excuses weaken you. Discipline builds you. Excuses also steal your time. When you delay your goals for a day, that day turns into a week. That week becomes a month. That month becomes a year. And suddenly you wake up realizing you're living the same life you said you wanted to escape. Time doesn't stop because you stop. Time doesn't pause because you're tired. Time doesn't wait because you're scared. Time moves forward with or without you. And excuses are the quickest way to let time slip through your fingers. You must treat your excuses like enemies. Challenge them, question them, break them apart. Ask yourself, is this really true, or is this just my fear talking? 90% of excuses collapse under honest examination. Once you expose them, they lose their power. You begin to see that the obstacle isn't the excuse. The obstacle is the belief behind it. Change the belief and the excuse loses its grip. Greatness requires accountability. You must hold yourself to a higher standard. You must set expectations for yourself that are bigger than your limitations. You must refuse to let excuses rob you of your potential. You must become the kind of person who says, I will show up no matter what. Because the moment you decide to stop accepting excuses, your life begins to accelerate. Doors open. Opportunities appear, confidence grows, progress compounds. Your future self is depending on you, not the version of you that makes excuses, not the version of you that avoids discomfort, not the version of you that waits for motivation. Your future self needs the version of you that fights back, that stands up, that acts anyway, that pushes through, that refuses to settle for anything less than what you're capable of. Excuses feel good today, but they feel awful tomorrow. Discipline feels hard today, but it feels unbelievable tomorrow. You get to choose which pain you want, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One builds you, the other breaks you. And the moment you choose discipline over excuses, everything in your life begins to shift. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And most people never cross that bridge because discipline is the one thing that demands everything. It demands your comfort, your excuses, your laziness, your distractions, your bad habits, and the version of you that chooses what feels good over what is good for you. People talk about goals, dreams, and visions, but none of them become reality without discipline. Discipline is the connection between desire and destiny. Without it, your dreams stay dreams. With it, your dreams become instructions for your life. Everyone wants to be successful until they realize what success actually requires. Success requires structure when you feel scattered. Success requires consistency when you feel tired. Success requires sacrifice when you feel comfortable. Success requires decisions that contradict your emotions. Discipline means you show up whether you feel like it or not. It means you choose the grind over the excuse. It means you keep your promises to yourself even when nobody is watching and nobody will. Ever know whether you quit or continue? That's why discipline is rare, because it's not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's not applause-worthy in the moment. It's silent,
private, repetitive, and often uncomfortable, but it is also powerful. Discipline builds confidence. Every time you follow through, every time you push yourself, every time you do the thing you said you would do, you strengthen your belief in yourself. You begin to trust your word. You start recognizing yourself as someone who is reliable, strong, determined, capable, and focused. Confidence doesn't come from wishing you were better. It comes from proving to yourself through disciplined action that you are better than your excuses. People look for confidence in external validation, but the strongest confidence comes from internal evidence, the evidence created by discipline. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack discipline. Talent might give you a head start, but discipline determines whether you finish. Discipline is the great equalizer. You don't have to be the smartest, the strongest, the fastest, or the most naturally gifted. But if you're the most disciplined, if you show up every day, if you outwork, outfocus, and outlast everyone else, eventually you become unstoppable. Talent shines, but discipline dominates. Discipline shows up every day ready to work, while talent shows up only when it feels good. Discipline is about choices. It's about choosing your future over your present, choosing progress over pleasure, choosing long-term gain over short-term comfort. The life you want requires a version of you that does not yet exist. And the only way to become that version is discipline. You have to grow into your goals. You have to mature into your dreams. Discipline is the process that stretches you, strengthens you, molds you, and develops you into the person who can carry the weight of the success you're asking for. Without discipline, success would crush you because you wouldn't have the character to sustain it. Your habits shape your discipline. Discipline is not something you wake up with. It's something you build through repetition. When you consistently push yourself to do hard things, you train your brain to embrace discomfort. You train your mind to prioritize commitment over convenience. You train yourself to function without needing motivation. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is foundational. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. The people who win in life are not the ones who are motivated. They are the ones who are disciplined. Discipline also protects you from yourself. It protects you from your impulses, your distractions, your excuses, and your emotions. Your emotions change every day. Some days you feel excited. Some days you feel exhausted. Some days you feel hopeful. Some days you feel defeated. If your life is controlled by emotions, your results will always be inconsistent. Discipline gives you stability. Discipline says, I don't care how I feel. I care what needs to be done. It gives you control. It puts you in charge of your life instead of letting your feelings take the wheel. People underestimate how destructive inconsistency can be. Inconsistency ruins more potential than failure ever will. Inconsistency breaks momentum, weakens focus, and kills progress. And the only antidote to inconsistency is discipline. Discipline turns random effort into consistent action. Consistent action turns goals into habits. Habits turn effort into results. Results turn dreams into reality. That is the chain reaction discipline sets into motion. Discipline also separates the dreamers from the doers. Dreamers talk, doers act. Dreamers imagine, doers execute. Dreamers make promises, doers keep them. Anyone can set a goal. Anyone can write a plan. Anyone can say they want more out of life. But only disciplined people change their behavior to match their goals. Only disciplined people are willing to give up something today to gain something greater tomorrow. Only disciplined people look at the gap between where they are and where they want to be and say, I'm willing to pay the price to cross that gap. The truth is, most people want improvement without inconvenience. They want transformation without transition. They want results without routine. And they want a new life while clinging to old habits. But you cannot become someone new while behaving like the old you. Discipline demands that you let go of the version of yourself that settled, procrastinated, avoided responsibility, and chased comfort. Discipline demands that you sacrifice your old patterns in exchange for new ones. That sacrifice is the sign you're growing. Discipline requires you to be honest with yourself. Brutally honest. You have to look in the mirror and acknowledge your habits, acknowledge your procrastination, acknowledge your distractions, acknowledge your weaknesses, acknowledge how many times you've quit. This isn't self-criticism, it's self-awareness. You cannot fix what you refuse to face. And discipline begins with facing yourself. It begins with admitting that you are capable of more and that you're done letting your excuses run your life. The beautiful thing about discipline is that it feels hard in the moment, but empowering in hindsight. Every workout you didn't want to do but finish makes you stronger. Every study session you didn't feel like doing but completed makes you smarter. Every project you stayed consistent with makes you more capable. Every time you overcame distraction and maintained focus, you built mental toughness. Delayed gratification is not punishment. It's preparation. It's you building the muscle necessary to carry the success you're pursuing. Discipline also requires boundaries. You must protect your time, your energy, your focus, your mindset. You cannot expect discipline to thrive in an environment full of distraction, negativity, and chaos. Discipline means saying no. No to unhealthy habits. No to energy draining people. No to time wasting activities. No to anything that competes with your growth. Every no you say to distraction is a yes to your destiny. The greatest enemy of discipline is comfort. Comfort is seductive. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels harmless, but comfort kills ambition. When you stay comfortable, you stop growing. When you stop growing, you stop moving towards your goals. Comfort is easy, but easy never changes you. Easy never challenges you. Easy never develops you. Discipline, on the other hand, forces you to grow. It pushes you into unfamiliar places. It stretches your capacity. It demands more from you than you want to give. That stretch is where greatness is born. You must decide whether you want a comfortable life or a meaningful life, because you cannot have both. Meaning requires discipline. Meaning requires effort. Meaning requires you to show up on the days when you would rather hide. Meaning requires you to take ownership of your future. Discipline is the tool that builds meaning, and meaning is the reward that makes discipline worth it. Your goals rely on your discipline. Your health relies on your discipline. Your career relies on your discipline. Your relationships rely on your discipline. Your self-respect relies on your discipline. Everything you want is on the other side of consistent effort. Everything you desire is on the other side of the bridge called discipline. And every step you take across that bridge changes you. It strengthens you. It prepares you. Discipline becomes easier with repetition. The things that feel hard today will feel natural tomorrow. The things that require willpower today will become automatic in the future. Discipline creates habits, and habits carry you when motivation fails. One day you look back and realize you've become someone you never imagined. Stronger, smarter, more focused, more confident, more capable. That transformation doesn't come from random bursts of effort. It comes from disciplined consistency. Crossing the bridge from where you are to where you want to be is not easy. But staying where you are is harder. Living with regret is harder. Living below your potential is harder. Watching time pass without progress is harder. Discipline is temporary discomfort for permanent improvement. Comfort is temporary pleasure for permanent limitation. You have to choose which pain you want, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. You build discipline one decision at a time, one step at a time, one day at a time. You decide to show up. You decide not to quit. You decide to stay focused. You decide to honor your commitments. You decide to do what needs to be done, and slowly, step by step, you walk across the bridge toward the life you know you're capable of living. There comes a moment in every journey when you look around and there's nobody cheering, nobody clapping, nobody texting you encouragement, nobody checking on your progress, just you, your vision, your grind, your doubts, and your heartbeat. And in that silence, in that loneliness, in that invisible space where no one sees the work you're doing or the sacrifices you're making, that's where most people quit. Not because the dream was impossible, but because they couldn't handle walking the path without an audience. What they didn't understand is that all great futures are built in the dark long before they shine in the light. Working in silence is not punishment, it's preparation. It's not emptiness, it's elevation. Silence is where you learn yourself. Silence is where you find the part of you that doesn't need applause to move forward. Silence is where your character is sharpened and your resilience is built. People fear silence because in silence, you can't hide. You can't hide behind distractions. You can't hide behind noise. You can't hide behind validation. You meet the raw version of yourself, the version that is either committed or pretending, the version that either wants the dream or wants the attention that comes with the dream. In silence, the truth shows up. In the dark, nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody is listening to your complaints. Nobody is impressed by your intentions. In the dark, the only thing that matters is whether you show up or you don't. Whether you push or you fold, whether you stay focused or you let yourself drift. And this is where champions are made. Not on the stage, not in the spotlight, not when the crowd is roaring your name. Champions are made in empty rooms. Champions are made during quiet mornings. Champions are made in late nights when your eyes burn from exhaustion, but your spirit refuses to quit. Most people want the results, but not the isolation that produces the results. They want the applause without the discipline. They want the recognition without the repetition. They want to be celebrated for the work they never did in the silence. You cannot skip the silent season. You cannot bypass the invisible grind. Every person you admire had a chapter nobody saw, a season where they were overlooked, doubted, underestimated, ignored, or forgotten. But they didn't need people to believe in them because they believed in themselves. They didn't need noise. They didn't need approval. They didn't need a crowd. They needed discipline. They needed vision. They needed patience. And they needed the courage to work like their future depended on every breath. Silence is the training ground for greatness because silence forces you to rely on internal motivation, not external applause. When you're working alone, you must find your own reasons. You must generate your own momentum. You must create your own drive. You must be your own coach, your own encourager, your own strategist, your own accountability partner. And when you learn how to push yourself from the inside, nobody on the outside can ever stop you again. When discipline becomes your language, when consistency becomes your muscle, when commitment becomes your identity, you become unstoppable because you no longer depend on feelings. You depend on habits. You no longer depend on people. You depend on purpose. There will be moments when silence feels heavy, moments when you question whether your effort matters, moments when your progress seems invisible even to yourself, moments when you wonder if you're wasting your time. These moments are not signs to give up. They are signs that you are being reshaped into someone stronger. Growth is rarely loud. Breakthroughs don't always make noise. Transformation is often subtle, quiet, invisible, until one day it becomes undeniable. The work you do in silence accumulates. The discipline you build stacks. The hours you invest compound. And suddenly what once seemed impossible becomes normal. What once felt difficult becomes natural. The silent grind becomes your superpower. You must learn to protect your silent season. Not everyone deserves access to your process. Not everyone deserves to watch you build. Some people only show up to criticize. Some show up to distract. Some want to measure you before you're done growing. Some want to judge the foundation before the house is even built. You don't owe anyone updates. You don't owe anyone explanations. You don't owe anyone progress reports. Let the results speak. Let the success tell the story. Let the final product announce itself. When you work in silence, you eliminate pressure, you eliminate noise, you eliminate opinions, you free yourself to grow without interruption. Working in silence also sharpens your focus. When you stop worrying about how things look, you start caring about how things are. You stop performing and start preparing. You stop pretending and start progressing. You stop chasing approval and start chasing mastery. Silence allows you to hear your own thoughts clearly. It allows you to see your weaknesses honestly. It allows you to adjust, improve, and build without fear of judgment. In silence, you learn to measure yourself against your own standards, not someone else's timeline. Every time you show up in silence, you are carving out a future version of yourself that is disciplined, trustworthy, determined, and unstoppable. The world may not be watching you today, but your future self is. Your future family is. Your future opportunities are. Every act of discipline is preparing a future breakthrough. Every quiet victory becomes part of your destiny. Every moment you choose progress over comfort adds strength to your character. And one day people will look at your success and call it sudden. They will call it lucky. They will call it overnight. They will assume something magical happened. But you will know the truth. Your breakthrough was built brick by brick in the silence. There will be times you feel lonely on the journey, times when you feel abandoned, times when you feel like you're carrying your dream with no help and no support. But understand this. Silence is not loneliness, it's alignment. You're not alone. You're being aligned with the version of yourself that can handle the blessing you're asking for. You're being shaped to hold the weight of your future. You're being trained to handle responsibility. Noise distracts, crowds interfere, opinions manipulate, but silence strengthens. Think of every silent season like the roots of a tree. Nobody sees them. Nobody praises them. Nobody admires them. But without roots, the tree cannot rise. Without roots, the tree cannot withstand storms. Without roots, the tree cannot survive. Your silent work is your root system. It's what holds you steady when life hits. It's what keeps you grounded when success comes. It's what keeps you humble, focused, and stable. You cannot rise without roots. You cannot shine without shadows. You cannot grow without quiet seasons. You must fall in love with the process more than the outcome. When you love the process, you show up even when the results aren't visible. When you love the process, you grind even when your emotions don't match your goals. When you love the process, you understand that the journey itself is shaping you. It's not just about achieving the dream. It's about becoming the person who can handle the dream. And that becoming happens in silence. That identity is built in the dark. Your silent work is building a foundation that nobody can take from you. People can doubt you. People can leave you. People can criticize you. People can misunderstand you, but they cannot remove the discipline you built. They cannot erase the hours you invested. They cannot undo the consistency you practice. The silent grind becomes part of your DNA. It becomes part of who you are. And that internal strength is what lasts long after applause fades. One day the results will show. One, the success will be visible. One day the world will see what you've been building. But when that day comes, you won't be surprised. You'll be ready because you didn't wait for validation to start. You didn't wait for recognition to commit. You worked when nobody believed in you. You pushed when nobody encouraged you. You moved when nobody understood you. And that is why your success will last. Because it was built on discipline, not applause, on purpose, not pressure, on character, not crowds. And it all began in the silence. There will come a time when the weight of your dream presses down on you so hard that you begin questioning everything. Your path, your decisions, your purpose, your worth. A time when the climb feels steeper than you imagined. The obstacles feel heavier than you prepared for, and the distance between where you are and where you want to be seems almost impossible to cross. In those moments, your mind becomes the battleground. Doubt attacks first. Fear comes next. Fatigue waits in the corner ready to finish the job. And unless you learn how to rise, even when everything inside you is telling you to sit down, you will lose the future you were meant to have. Getting back up when you fall isn't optional. It's the requirement. It's the proof that you want it. It's the evidence that you're built for the life you're chasing. People think success is about talent, about connections, about timing, about luck. But the truth you learn only after failing is that success is about persistence. It's about refusing to stay down, even when staying down feels easier. It's about standing up again when you're bruised, when you're tired, when you're embarrassed, when you're unsure, when you feel like a fool, when the world saw you fall, when your heart aches from disappointment. It's about rising not because you feel strong, but because you decide you won't let failure have the final word. Getting back up is the muscle that separates champions from the rest of the world. When you fall, you have two voices inside you. One voice tells you it's over, that you tried and it didn't work, that maybe you're not built for this, that maybe you aim too high, that maybe you should settle for something smaller, safer, more comfortable. This voice is seductive because it offers relief. It offers excuses. It offers comfort. But comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort is the graveyard of dreams. Comfort is the place where people go to surrender quietly. The other voice, the stronger one, the one you must train yourself to listen to, whispers that the fall is part of the process. That failure is not the opposite of success. It is the ingredient. That every person you admire has fallen harder than you, more often than you, but they rose anyway. That every setback is shaping your character. That every disappointment is sharpening your hunger. That every hardship is building your resilience. This voice doesn't promise comfort. It promises transformation. It promises growth. It promises strength, but only if you rise. There's a rhythm to success. Fall, rise, fall, rise, fall, rise. And if you refuse to rise, you break the rhythm. You interrupt the journey. You lose the momentum that could have taken you somewhere extraordinary. So many people give up, not because they don't have ability, but because they don't have recovery. They never develop the emotional endurance to get up and keep fighting. You must become the kind of person who gets knocked down 7 times and stands up 8. You must train your mind to see falling not as failure, but as feedback, as direction, as instruction. When life hits you, and it doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't ask for your permission. It doesn't apologize. Life hits because life is shaping you. Life hits because life is preparing you. Life hits because life is revealing parts of yourself you didn't know existed. When you fall, you discover your weaknesses, your fears, your insecurities, your blind. But you also discover your strength, your resilience, your creativity, your courage. Falling exposes what needs to be rebuilt. Rising reinforces what must be preserved. There's a version of you waiting in the future who is stronger, wiser, more disciplined, more focused, more capable. But you can't become that person without falling and rising repeatedly. The process chisels you. The setbacks polish you. The failures carve out the capacity you'll need to hold the success you're asking for. You cannot skip these steps. You cannot avoid the falls and still expect to grow. You must trust that every time you hit the ground, you are hitting the exact place where transformation begins. Most people never rise because they personalize failure. They say, I failed, and then they start believing I am a failure. But you are not what happened to you. You are what you do after it happens. You are defined by your response, not your setback. You are shaped by your rise, not your fall. The fall is an event. The rise is your identity. That's why getting back up is so powerful. It shifts your story. It rewrites your narrative. It proves to yourself that you're stronger than your circumstances. There will be moments when the people around you don't believe in your comeback. They saw you fall and they assume you're done. They label you. They limit you. They judge you based on a moment, not your mission. But you cannot allow their doubt to become your truth. You cannot let their limited vision shrink your future. The comeback is not for them. It's for you. It is the moment you prove to yourself that you are built differently, that you are not driven by ego, but by purpose, that you are not motivated by applause, but by destiny, that you are here to rise, not retreat. You must become obsessed with rising quickly. Some people fall and stay down for days, weeks, months, even years. They replay the mistake in their mind. They relive the disappointment. They rehearse the embarrassment. They punish themselves mentally. And the longer they stay down, the harder it becomes to rise. You must shorten the distance between falling and rising. You must learn how to breathe through the pain. Gather yourself and stand up even when your legs are shaking. You must rise before doubt becomes your roommate. You must rise before fear gets comfortable. You must rise before regret has time to grow. When you get back up, don't return as the same version of yourself. Return wiser. Return stronger, return sharper, return with a new strategy, return with a deeper hunger, return with lessons carved into your spirit, because every fall teaches you something. It might teach you patience, discipline, humility, strategy, emotional control, boundaries, focus, or endurance. But it always teaches. When you rise, rise with the lesson. You also have to understand that rising is not just about momentum. It's about identity. Every time you get back up, you reinforce the belief that you are the kind of person who refuses to quit. You teach your brain that you are resilient. You build the mental toughness required to survive the higher levels of success, because success doesn't make life easier. It increases the pressure. It increases the expectations. It increases the resistance. And if you don't learn how to rise now, you will crumble later. Rising is your training for the blessings you're asking for. There will be times when your rise is slow, times when you feel like you're crawling instead of standing, times when your energy is gone, your heart is heavy, and your mind is exhausted. Rising doesn't always look powerful. Sometimes rising looks like wiping your tears and trying again. Sometimes rising looks like taking one step when you feel like taking none. Sometimes rising looks like showing up messy, scared, unsure, but showing up anyway. Rising is not about perfection. It's about persistence. Every comeback is a declaration that you refuse to let life break you, a declaration that you refuse to abandon your dream, a declaration that you refuse to let failure define you, a declaration that you will fight for what you want even when the fight is exhausting. The comeback is your statement to the universe that you are unstoppable, that you will bend, but you will not break, that you will fall, but you will rise. One day, all the rises will add up. One day, the resilience you built will become visible in your confidence, your discipline, your decisions. One day, people will see your strength, but never know the battles you fought to earn it. One day, the world will see the comeback, but never understand the war you fought in silence. And that's okay, because rising is not about them. It's about you honoring the future you were created for. There is a truth that most people avoid because it is uncomfortable, but it is undeniable. The life you are living right now is the result of the choices you have made, the habits you have formed, and the discipline you have or have not maintained. Every single day you are writing your story, whether you realize it or not. Every decision, every action, every thought is an investment in the person you are becoming, the life you are creating, and the future you are shaping. And yet, so many people fail to see the power in this truth. They blame circumstances. They blame other people. They blame luck. But the truth is that your future is a reflection of your present choices. You are either moving closer to your dreams or further away from them. And the difference is not talent, opportunity, or luck. It is consistency, discipline, and relentless effort. Consistency is not glamorous. It doesn't appear in headlines. It doesn't show up on social media. It doesn't earn instant praise, but it is the quiet engine that builds empires. It is the heartbeat of achievement. It is the invisible force that separates those who dream from those who actually accomplish. You may not see results immediately, and that is part of the challenge. The world glorifies instant success, viral breakthroughs, and overnight wins. But real life, the life that matters, is built day by day, moment by moment, decision by decision. Each time you choose to show up when it would have been easier to quit, you build a foundation for success that no obstacle can destroy. Each time you push when you are exhausted, you reinforce a muscle in your mind that will carry you further than talent ever could. Each time you commit to the grind when nobody is watching, you prepare yourself for the moment when everyone will notice. Many people give up too early because they are seduced by the illusion of speed. They want rapid results, immediate gratification, and visible progress. They look at someone else's success and compared to their own journey, not realizing that what they see is the product of years of invisible work, relentless focus, and countless moments of perseverance that nobody ever witnessed. Consistency is the secret ingredient that transforms potential into reality. Without it, talent fades, motivation falters, and dreams remain just that, dreams. But with it, you become unstoppable. With it, you become unshakable. With it, you earn the right to live the life you envision. Discipline and consistency go hand in hand, and both require sacrifice. You must be willing to say no to distractions, no to excuses, no to people who do not support your vision, and sometimes no to comfort itself. Comfort is the enemy of progress. It is seductive. It is deceptive. It feels safe, and it convinces you that waiting is harmless. But the truth is, every moment spent prioritizing ease over effort is a moment lost from building your future. Every time you settle for convenience instead of commitment, you widen the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Growth and success demand discomfort. They demand persistence in the face of fatigue, uncertainty, and doubt. They demand the courage to act even when the outcome is unknown. The people who achieve greatness are not necessarily smarter, stronger, or luckier. They are the ones who refuse to quit. They are the ones who show up day after day, long after motivation has left, long after excitement has faded, long after external validation has disappeared. They are the ones who build habits that serve their vision, even when the results are invisible. They understand that the grind is not temporary, the process is not optional, and the discipline is not negotiable. Every setback, every failure, every obstacle becomes an opportunity to strengthen their resilience, sharpen their focus, and deepen their commitment. They understand that success is not an event. It is a lifestyle, and that lifestyle is earned one disciplined choice at a time. Your mindset is the compass that guides this journey. It is the lens through which you interpret challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. If your mindset is weak, inconsistent, or defeatist, it will sabotage your potential before you even take action. But if your mindset is resilient, focused, and growth-oriented, it will propel you forward even when circumstances are stacked against you. Developing the right mindset is not easy. It requires self-awareness, reflection, and deliberate practice. It requires identifying the beliefs that limit you and replacing them with beliefs that empower you. It requires recognizing that you are the author of your story and that your destiny is determined by the choices you make today, not by the circumstances of yesterday. One of the greatest lessons in life is that consistency compounds. The small disciplined actions you take today may feel insignificant, but over time, they accumulate into massive results. The person who reads a few pages every day, trains a little harder every session, saves a small portion of their income consistently, and invests effort steadily is far more likely to succeed than the person who waits for motivation, inspiration, or the perfect opportunity. The compounding effect of disciplined action is invisible at first, but unstoppable once it gathers momentum. The people who win are not the ones who have the most talent. They are the ones who refuse to miss a day, refuse to give up, and refuse to settle. Consistency also requires patience. Patience is not passive waiting. It is active persistence. It is the understanding that the journey is longer than the desire for immediate results. It is the ability to endure setbacks, delays, and disappointments without abandoning the path. Patience is the companion of discipline. It is what allows you to maintain effort, focus, and commitment when results are delayed, when progress is slow, when the world is indifferent, and when no one is cheering. The combination of patience and consistency is lethal because it produces unstoppable momentum over time. Success is rarely instant, but it is inevitable for those who refuse to quit. The truth is, life will test you constantly. Obstacles will appear. People will doubt you. Circumstances will challenge you. Your energy will wane. Your confidence will shake. Your vision will blur. And when that happens, the difference between those who succeed and those who fail will be clear. It is the willingness to persist, to maintain focus, to act despite fear, to stay committed when every fiber of your being wants to quit. The difference is the discipline to keep showing up when others walk away. The difference is the determination to trust the process even when the outcome is uncertain. The difference is refusing to allow temporary discomfort to steal your permanent destiny. Every champion, every leader, every successful person you admire has failed more times than you can count. They have fallen, stumbled, and been knocked down, but they have also risen. They have refused to let failure define them, and they have refused to let temporary setbacks erase the progress they had made. The ability to get back up, to persist, to remain consistent, and to keep moving forward is what separates ordinary from extraordinary. Failure is not the enemy, it is feedback. It is the tool that strengthens resolve, refines strategy, and prepares you for the challenges ahead. Success is built on the willingness to learn from failure and continue despite it. Your habits are the framework of your consistency, the small routines, the daily practices, the repeated actions, the decisions to do what is hard even when it is uncomfortable. They create the person you become. You are not defined by intentions, dreams, or desires. You are defined by what you do consistently. What you repeatedly practice becomes your identity. If you want to be a high achiever, you must develop high achieving habits. If you want to be disciplined, you must practice discipline daily. If you want to be resilient, you must repeatedly choose resilience over surrender. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to the person you are becoming. Nothing is neutral. Everything either builds you or weakens you. Accountability is another essential element of consistency. You cannot rely solely on motivation, inspiration, or encouragement from others to stay on track. You must take full ownership of your actions, your results, and your growth. You must hold yourself accountable when no one else is watching. You must measure your progress, track your efforts, and evaluate your performance honestly. Accountability is not punishment. It is empowerment. It is the recognition that your life is your responsibility and that no one else will build your dreams for you. When you embrace accountability, you empower yourself to persist, to improve, and to grow beyond your current limitations. The journey to success is rarely easy, and it is never convenient. It requires effort when you are tired. It requires focus when you are distracted. It requires sacrifice when comfort tempts you. It requires courage when fear wants to paralyze you. It requires patience when results are delayed. It requires discipline when motivation fades. And it requires consistency when the world tells you to stop. But the rewards for those who endure, persist, and maintain disciplined effort over time are extraordinary. The life you desire, the success you envision, and the impact you want to make are available to those who refuse to quit and refuse to compromise. Remember this, the difference between those who achieve and those who do not is not talent, luck, or opportunity. It is the relentless application of effort, the disciplined maintenance of habits, and the unwavering commitment to consistency. The person who keeps showing up, even when it is hard, even when it feels pointless, even when no one else cares, is the person who will win. The person who perseveres when failure seems certain, when obstacles loom large, and when the journey feels endless, is the person who will rise. Consistency is the quiet force behind every triumph, the invisible foundation beneath every success, and the ultimate differentiator between mediocrity and greatness. There comes a moment in every person's life when they have to make a choice, a moment when they have to decide whether they are going to live according to their potential or settle for the version of themselves that is comfortable, safe, and predictable. A moment when they have to confront the truth that the life they are living is the direct result of the choices they have made up until now. And that the life they want to live is only possible if they are willing to make better, bolder, and more deliberate choices starting today. Most people wait for motivation, inspiration, or a sign from the universe to start acting. But the truth is that action does not follow motivation, it precedes it. You cannot wait to feel ready. You cannot wait to feel perfect. You cannot wait for conditions to be ideal. You must move first and the rest will follow. The power to transform your life is always in your hands, and it has always been there. Too many people give their power away. They blame circumstances, relationships, society, or luck for their failures. They convince themselves that the world is against them, that the odds are stacked, that they are victims. But the reality is that your circumstances do not define you. Your background does not define you. Your failures do not define you. You define yourself with every choice you make, every action you take, and every decision to persist when everything inside you is telling you to quit. This is why accountability is non-negotiable. You must take full ownership of your life. Stop pointing fingers. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you. Stop waiting for a miracle. You are your own miracle. You are your own opportunity. You are your own responsibility. Success is not reserved for the lucky, the privileged, or the naturally talented. It is reserved for the relentless. It is reserved for those who refuse to stop when others give up. It is reserved for those who keep showing up when life knocks them down, when the world doubts them, when fatigue overwhelms them, when fear threatens to paralyze them. It is reserved for those who embrace the grind, who respect the process, who honor the journey even when the results are invisible. Too many people are obsessed with the result, but the result is nothing without the process. The process is where character is built. The process is where resilience is forged. The process is where greatness is earned. Discipline is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. Discipline is the daily commitment to do what must be done, even when you do not feel like it. Discipline is the ability to delay gratification, to resist temptation, to stay focused on your long-term vision despite short-term distractions. Discipline is the willingness to embrace discomfort because you understand that discomfort is the price of progress. People think discipline is restrictive, but it's actually liberating. Discipline allows you to control your life instead of being controlled by circumstances. Discipline allows you to rise above excuses, fear, and doubt. Discipline allows you to create a future that is not dependent on luck, but on relentless, intentional action. Every day is a test of your commitment to yourself. Every day presents challenges that will push you to your limits. Every day will tempt you to settle for less than you are capable of. Every day will present choices between short-term pleasure and long-term gain, between laziness and effort, between fear and courage. What you choose in these moments determines who you become. What you repeatedly choose determines your destiny. Small decisions compound into massive results. The person you are becoming is built one choice, one action, one habit at a time. There are no shortcuts. There are no easy roads. There is only persistence, effort, and unwavering dedication. Fear is the single greatest enemy of action. Fear tells you to wait, to hide, to doubt, to question, to stay small. Fear tells you that your dreams are too big, your goals are too far, your abilities are insufficient. Fear whispers lies designed to keep you comfortable, safe, and mediocre. But courage is not the absence of fear. It is acting in spite of it. Courage is the decision to move forward even when your legs are shaking, even when your heart is pounding, even when your mind is screaming, stop. Courage is the willingness to embrace risk, to step into the unknown, to take responsibility for your life. The person who learns to act despite fear unlocks their potential. And the person who repeatedly practices courage develops a momentum that fear cannot stop. Success does not happen overnight. It is not instantaneous. It is not a single moment or a lucky break. It is the result of years of consistent effort, repeated discipline, and unwavering focus. The people you admire, the leaders you respect, the champions you envy, all spent countless hours in preparation before anyone saw their results. They endured hardship, failure, disappointment, rejection, and pain, and yet they persisted. They refused to quit when others gave up. They learned from mistakes instead of being defined by them. They invested in themselves when no one else would. And that is why they succeeded. Not because they were smarter, stronger, or luckier, but because they refused to stop until they achieved what they set out to do. Your mindset is the foundation of your success. You must cultivate a mindset that refuses to accept mediocrity, that believes in your ability to overcome obstacles, that expects challenges as part of the process, that embraces failure as feedback, and that views setbacks as setups for comebacks. You must believe in yourself when no one else does. You must trust your vision when it seems impossible. You must persist when results are invisible. A strong mindset does not guarantee immediate success, but it guarantees that you will never give up prematurely. It allows you to endure, adapt, and ultimately thrive in the face of adversity. Time is your most valuable resource, and how you use it determines the trajectory of your life. You cannot create more time. You cannot recover wasted days. You cannot borrow extra hours from tomorrow. Every moment is an investment, and every choice about how you spend your time is a vote for the life you want to create. Prioritize what matters. Eliminate distractions. Stop spending energy on things that do not serve your vision. Focus relentlessly on the tasks, habits, and activities that move you closer to your goals. The person who masters time management, who invests in their growth, who refuses to waste energy on trivialities, gains a compounding advantage that others will never understand until it is too late. Resilience is the ability to bounce back stronger after every setback, to keep moving forward when the path is unclear, and to maintain hope when the situation seems hopeless. Resilience is built through experience, through pain, disappointment, struggle, and failure. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to develop resilience. Every obstacle you overcome strengthens your capacity to endure. Every time you get up after being knocked down, you reinforce the belief that nothing in life can stop you except you. Resilience transforms obstacles into stepping stones, and it transforms adversity into advantage. Your future self is watching you right now, waiting to see if you will honor your potential. Every choice you make today shapes the person you will become tomorrow. Will you invest in yourself? Will you embrace discipline, courage, and consistency? Will you act in alignment with your vision even when the world doubts you? Will you rise above fear, distraction, and complacency? Or will you settle, procrastinate, and give in to the voices that say you are not enough? Your future depends on your decisions in the present. The person you are becoming is a direct result of the actions you take, the habits you cultivate, and the persistence you practice today. You must be relentless. You must refuse to quit. You must maintain focus even when motivation fades. You must embrace discipline even when desire wanes. You must cultivate courage even when fear is screaming. You must invest in your growth even when the progress is invisible. Every day you persist, every day you push, every day you choose effort over ease, you are moving closer to the life you are capable of living. Every day you show up for yourself, you are building a future that cannot be stolen, taken, or diminished. The consistent, deliberate actions you take now will compound into extraordinary results that will define your life for years to come. There'll come a time when you realize that waiting for permission is a luxury you cannot afford. Life does not ask if you're ready. Life does not pause until conditions are perfect. Life moves forward with or without you. Every second that passes is a moment that will never return, and every moment wasted is a missed opportunity to create the life you dream of. You cannot wait for the stars to align or for someone else to open the door. You must step forward, take initiative, and claim what is yours. Success favors those who act decisively, who refuse to linger in hesitation, who embrace the discomfort of taking the first step before anyone else does. Waiting is safe, but it is fatal. Moving is dangerous, but it is essential. Action is the bridge between intention and reality. Dreams without action are nothing but illusions. Ideas without execution are worthless. Plans without effort are dead. The world will not reward potential. It will reward results. You must be willing to do the work that others won't, to push past fear, to endure rejection, to embrace struggle, and to persist when the road seems impossible. Action is messy. Action is exhausting. Action is uncomfortable, but it is also liberating, empowering, and transformative. Every step you take toward your goal builds momentum, confidence, and clarity. Even mistakes, failures, and setbacks become lessons when you are moving. Motion produces energy, and energy attracts opportunity. Sitting still produces nothing. Most people fail not because they lack ideas, talent, or resources, but because they are paralyzed by fear, doubt, and uncertainty. They overthink, overplan, and overanalyze, waiting for a perfect moment that will never come. Fear whispers, you're not ready. You might fail. Someone else can do it better. Doubt says, what if this doesn't work? What if it's too late? And uncertainty screams, you have no control. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. Courage is not the absence of doubt. It is acting in spite of doubt. Courage is showing up when the odds are against you, when the world is indifferent, when your energy is low. Courage is deciding that your dream is worth more than your comfort and that nothing will stop you from pursuing it. Your mindset determines the quality of your action. If you think small, your actions will be small. If you think fearfully, your actions will be timid. If you think doubtfully, your actions will be hesitant. You must cultivate a mindset of abundance, belief, and relentless possibility. You must believe that you are capable, that you are worthy, and that you deserve the life you are fighting for. You must understand that setbacks are temporary, challenges are opportunities, and failure is not final. The mind shapes reality because every action flows from what you believe to be true. Change your thoughts and your actions will follow. Change your actions and your life will follow. Discipline amplifies action. Motivation fades. Inspiration comes and goes. Discipline is the engine that keeps you moving when the fire in your chest flickers, when the applause dies down, when nobody is watching. Discipline is waking up early when your bed is warm, staying late when your body is tired, and continuing when your spirit wants to quit. Discipline is doing what must be done, not what you feel like doing. Discipline is consistent effort over time, day after day, regardless of external validation or immediate results. Discipline turns small actions into habits, habits into routines, and routines into results. Without discipline, action is fleeting. With discipline, action becomes unstoppable. Persistence is the force that transforms struggle into strength. Life will knock you down. Obstacles will appear. People will doubt you. Plans will fail. But persistence keeps you moving when everything inside you is screaming to stop. Persistence is showing up again after failure, rising after disappointment, and continuing when progress seems invisible. Persistence is not glamorous. It is often quiet, lonely, and grueling, but it is more powerful than talent, luck, or opportunity. The person who refuses to quit, who continues to move forward despite setbacks, is the one who ultimately wins. Persistence builds resilience, character, and confidence, and it ensures that no challenge can permanently derail your journey. Your environment matters. You cannot rise while remaining surrounded by people, places, and situations that hold you back. Energy is contagious. Mindsets are contagious. Habits are contagious. If you want to grow, you must surround yourself with growth. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who inspire you, who hold you accountable, and who refuse to accept mediocrity. Surround yourself with mentors, coaches, and peers who push you beyond your limits. Protect your space from negativity, distractions, and those who drain your energy. Growth requires intentional focus, and focus requires a supportive environment. You cannot control everything, but you can control who and what you allow into your life. Failure is a necessary part of the journey. Every person who has achieved greatness has failed. Every champion has stumbled. Every visionary has been rejected. Failure is feedback. It is information, not a verdict. Each failure teaches you something essential: what works, what doesn't, what to avoid, what to improve, what to repeat. The key is not to fear failure, but to embrace it. The key is to rise stronger, wiser, and more prepared after each setback. Resilience is developed in the furnace of failure. The person who never fails rarely succeeds. The person who fails and continues is unstoppable. Time waits for no one. Every day that passes is a day you cannot recover. Every hour you waste is a lost opportunity to grow, to learn, to improve, and to advance toward your dreams. Success is a marathon, not a sprint, but every step counts. You cannot delay, procrastinate, or rely solely on inspiration. You must act now, consistently and deliberately. The person who uses time wisely compounds their efforts into extraordinary results. The person who squanders time complains, regrets, and remains stagnant. Time is both your enemy and your ally. It rewards urgency, preparation, and persistence, and punishes hesitation, distraction, and indecision. Gratitude fuels action. You cannot move forward if you are stuck in resentment, self-pity, or envy. The person who constantly compares themselves to others loses focus on their own path. The person who dwells on what they lack stagnates. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, from limitation to possibility, from doubt to belief. When you appreciate where you are and what you have, you gain the mental clarity, energy, and optimism necessary to take bold action. Gratitude transforms challenges into lessons, obstacles into opportunities, and effort into progress. The person who acts from a place of gratitude never loses momentum. Leadership is developed through action. You cannot wait to lead until you are perfect, until the conditions are ideal, or until others give permission. Leadership is demonstrated in the choices you make, the risks you take, and the example you set. You lead by showing up, by doing the work, by inspiring through effort and integrity. The world responds to action, not words. You cannot demand respect without earning it through consistency, courage, and competence. Leadership is not a title. It is a responsibility. It is influence, impact, and the ability to guide others while continuing to rise yourself. Leadership is earned one disciplined action at a time. Your dreams are your responsibility. Nobody else will fight for them as passionately as you. Nobody else will sacrifice, endure, and persist on your behalf. Nobody else can step into your shoes and chase your vision with the same intensity. If you want your dreams to become reality, you must take ownership of them. You must act boldly, consistently, and relentlessly. You must prepare to work harder, longer, and smarter than anyone else. You must embrace the discomfort, rejection, and uncertainty that comes with chasing what matters. Your dreams will not wait for you. They require that you step up, rise, and claim them every single day. Opportunity favors those who are ready. You cannot control when doors open, but you can control whether you are prepared when they do. Preparation is effort, discipline, and consistency compounded over time. You cannot wait for luck to create your breakthrough. You must build it. You must position yourself for it. You must make yourself indispensable, capable, and relentless. When opportunity arrives, Those who have prepared will seize it, and those who have not will watch it pass by. Preparation is action before recognition. Preparation is the silent work that produces visible results. The person who refuses to prepare is unprepared for success. Ultimately, your life is a reflection of the choices you make, the effort you invest, the mindset you cultivate, and the persistence you practice. There is no one coming to save you. There is no magic formula. There is only you, the decisions you make today, and the actions you take every single day. You must embrace responsibility, reject excuses, act despite fear, persist despite failure, prepare despite uncertainty, and rise despite challenges. The life you dream of, the future you desire, and the impact you want to create are all within your reach, but only if you refuse to wait, refuse to quit, and refuse to settle. Your time is now. Your moment is today. Your action determines your tomorrow. There is a moment in every person's journey when excuses stop working, a moment when the I can't, because, and if only statements no longer hold power, a moment when the realization hits that nothing outside of you is going to change your life for you. No one is going to hand you success. No one is going to fix your circumstances. No one is going to push you past the limits you have placed on yourself. Life does not wait for permission, and opportunity does not linger for the hesitant. You must decide today in this moment that you are done waiting for someone else to make your dreams real. You are done hoping that conditions will be perfect. You are done settling for mediocrity. You must take responsibility, step into action, and claim what belongs to you by right of your effort, your courage, and your commitment. Responsibility is the foundation of empowerment. Many people fail to realize that taking full responsibility for your life is liberating, not limiting. It is the understanding that your results, your achievements, and even your failures are not accidents. They are the outcome of the choices you make every single day. You can blame your environment, your upbringing, the economy, or the people around you, but ultimately, your life is yours to shape. When you stop blaming and start acting, you shift from being a victim to being a creator. You stop waiting and start doing. You stop hoping and start building. You stop dreaming and start executing. Responsibility gives you control over your future, and control over your future gives you power. Effort is the currency of success. Talent, opportunity, and intelligence mean nothing without effort. Effort is what separates those who imagine from those who achieve. It is what turns ideas into reality, visions into results, and dreams into accomplishments. You must be willing to work harder than anyone else, not just occasionally, but consistently. You must show up when others sleep, study when others play, push when others rest, and sacrifice when others indulge. Effort is relentless. Effort is consistent. Effort is disciplined. It is not always glamorous, and it does not always feel good, but it is what produces results. If you want to claim your future, you must pay the price of effort every day without excuses. Discipline is the invisible hand that guides effort to results. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline remains. Discipline allows you to continue when energy fades, when inspiration disappears, when circumstances become difficult. Discipline is the commitment to do what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the habit of consistency, the structure that channels your energy into meaningful action. Discipline turns ordinary action into extraordinary results. Without discipline, effort is wasted. Without discipline, potential remains unrealized. With discipline, the impossible becomes achievable, and your vision becomes your reality. Consistency compounds. Small actions repeated over time create massive outcomes. The person who reads a few pages daily, who trains consistently, who invests their energy deliberately, and who maintains a steady focus, even when progress is invisible, will inevitably rise above those who chase instant results, shortcuts, or fleeting motivation. Your daily habits define your future. What you repeatedly do, not what you occasionally do, determines your destiny. If you want greatness, you must be relentless in your practice, disciplined in your choices, and consistent in your effort. There is no substitute for showing up every single day and putting in the work. Failure is inevitable, but it is not fatal. Every successful person has faced setbacks, rejections, and disappointments. Every champion has fallen countless times before reaching victory. Failure is not proof that you are incapable. It is proof that you are trying. Failure is feedback, a tool for growth, a lesson disguised as pain. Those who succeed are not those who never fail. They are those who refuse to let failure define them. Those who rise every time they fall. Those who learn, adapt, and persist despite the obstacles. Each setback is an opportunity to strengthen your resilience, sharpen your focus, and recommit to your purpose. The person who fears failure will never progress. The person who embraces it as part of the journey will ultimately succeed. Your mindset shapes your results. What you believe about yourself determines how you act, how you respond, and what you achieve. A weak mindset invites doubt, fear, and hesitation. A strong mindset creates courage, focus, and relentless action. You must cultivate a mindset that refuses to accept mediocrity, that believes in your capacity to overcome obstacles, and that anticipates challenges as opportunities to rise. You must replace self-doubt with self-belief, hesitation with decisiveness, and fear with action. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. Master it, and you master your life. Opportunity is waiting, but it favors the prepared. Doors will open, but only for those ready to step through. Luck comes, but only for those who have done the work. When preparation meets action, breakthroughs happen. You cannot rely on chance or hope. You must prepare relentlessly, learn continuously, and position yourself strategically. When opportunity appears, your readiness determines whether you seize it or miss it. Your future is not dictated by luck. It is dictated by your preparation, effort, and courage. The person who invests in themselves consistently and intentionally is the person who will be ready when the world demands excellence. Courage is acting despite fear. Every significant achievement requires risk. Every transformative moment requires stepping beyond comfort. Fear will try to stop you. Doubt will try to distract you. And comfort will try to sedate you. But courage is the fuel that pushes you past these obstacles. Courage is the decision to continue when the world says stop, to move forward when the path is unclear, and to persevere when the conditions are harsh. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is mastery over fear. The person who practices courage consistently develops an inner strength that cannot be shaken by challenges, setbacks, or criticism. Courage transforms obstacles into opportunities and limitations into breakthroughs. Your environment matters more than you think. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and hold you accountable. Avoid those who encourage complacency, doubt, or negativity. Habits, mindset, and energy are contagious. You become the average of the people you spend the most time with. Protect your mental space, cultivate positive influences, and immerse yourself in environments that foster growth, learning, and discipline. Your surroundings can either accelerate your progress or stunt your potential. Choose wisely. Be intentional about the people, places, and experiences you allow into your life. Time is the most finite resource you have. Every hour wasted is opportunity lost. Every procrastinated decision is progress delayed. Every moment you spend dwelling on excuses is time stolen from your future. You cannot recover lost time, but you can maximize the time you have. Prioritize tasks, focus on high value actions, and eliminate distractions that do not serve your vision. Time rewards urgency, preparation, and persistence, and punishes hesitation, procrastination, and inaction. How you spend your time today determines the life you will live tomorrow. Invest it wisely. Gratitude fuels perseverance. The person who is grateful for where they are, what they have, and the lessons they have learned maintains perspective, energy, and motivation. Gratitude transforms struggle into growth, obstacles into lessons, and challenges into opportunities. When you operate from a place of gratitude, you develop patience, resilience, and focus. You stop complaining about circumstances and start capitalizing on them. Gratitude allows you to see possibilities where others see limitations, opportunities where others see obstacles, and solutions where others see problems. Your dreams are your responsibility. No one else can pursue them with the intensity, commitment, or passion that you can. You are the only one who can endure the struggle, make the sacrifices, and maintain the discipline required to achieve them. Your future is in your hands. The person you become in pursuit of your dreams is more important than the dream itself. Invest in your growth, push your limits, and embrace the challenges that will refine your skills, strengthen your character, and prepare you for the life you desire. Ownership of your dreams is the key to making them real.